Hello, hello, hello. Thought I'd see if we could find some stuff here. Make sure the sound's working. Can't hear anything yet. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Alright, sounds good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well, not so good, but we're monitoring to see what's going on here. I'm not sure what we're looking at the moment. It was supposed to be Florida, but somehow it got switched.
I'll be out on Sheffield Drive, just west of 177, about 100 yards, with a small structure in the road.
Sheffield Drive, structure in the road.
10-4. 20 homes, I'm out here chopping it out of the middle of the road.
Trying to see what's
173,
going
north
on.
of 160.
I'm blind, so I gotta get close.
Copy 173, north of 160.
I still have two. I'm not sure. What is this? It's not Boston. Why? How did I get to Boston? I was in Florida. Okay. We gotta get out of here.
Unit calling.
Oh, it's dark.
33, I got several helping me. We're trying to clear son-in-law out from 90. Copy, have you son-in-law clearing out from 90?
19 homes. 4 to all units, 4 to all units. Unless it's a safety issue, you don't have to put it on the air. Unless it's a safety issue, don't put it on the air. It's got too much traffic.
Let me get my face out of the way.
Virtual.
There we go. And can we still get this?
Cobb County, just to the south of Smyrna and Mapleton, all seeing some torrential tropical rainfall here. This tornado warning continues for the next 9 minutes. Not seeing any identifying signatures, not seeing any rotation anymore in that particular thunderstorm. So again, this afternoon, I think it was about 2:30 or so, meteorologist Brad Nitz and I were tracking the active weather in middle Georgia in Crawford County, where we did see a tornado, more debris signature, and it was confirmed by the National Weather Service that there was damage to structures, there was damage to trees, and damage to power lines as a result of that storm before it moved into Upson County. So it did not make it into Upson County. That was about 2:30 this afternoon in Crawford County, just to the southeast of Upson County. But here the active tornado warning continues along I-20. If you have any friends or relatives you think might be traveling along.
And Hamilton's store that's going to be mixed with power lines.
Copy, power lines and trees, Highway 2 between Esther and Miller.
I-20, probably not listening to us, of course.
What happened? Where'd it go? There we go.
In their car, might want to give them a call in their cell phones. Make sure they're aware that we do have an active tornado warning.
Cobb, Douglas,
For anybody that's traveling from Atlanta out west along I-20, an active tornado warning continues in this area.
To go higher up in the atmosphere, the lack of rotation tornado occurring currently.
Yeah, and I do believe, you know, this debris we had in Crawford County was lofted about 10,000 feet into the atmosphere. In a situation like this, you have winds that are increasing exponentially as we get above the ground. There's less friction to deal with as far as the ground goes, so the winds actually very much increase with height. So that's what's dragging the debris maybe down here.
11,
Very
27.
strong upper level winds at that 10,000 foot level are really fanning that debris signature
You
out.
feel good
So
up there?
no more tornado signatures as far as rotation goes right now, but there's a history of this storm producing a tornado.
We're almost
we think we have a confirmed
through this.
tornado here. So we need to be on the
Making my way
alert here
back
in
up
Powder
there.
Springs. We need to be on the alert in Mableton, Lithia Springs as well, maybe Douglasville, Smyrna. Big area of very heavy rain with rotation in this thunderstorm continues now to move up to the northwest.
Glenn, just one.
What's going on?
Interrupt briefly. I just got word from the National Weather Service office, those were responsible for issuing and canceling the warnings, that they agree with what we're seeing, that the rotation has weakened significantly, likely not a tornado on the ground, and unless we start to see a trend in that opposite direction, they're going to allow this warning to expire at 7 p.m. So just 6 or 7 minutes from now.
All right, that's good news, and let's take a look at the storm projection as we head further downstream tonight. What are the other counties that we could see this moving into? So that would be Bartow County. That would be Paulding County, maybe clog up and that sort of thing. We have not had rain for more than a month, probably 6 weeks.
Homes to a unit close to 177.
The ground is really able to
North of
absorb
2.
that. We're not seeing the trees absorb a whole lot of rain this time of year. Most of them are shedding their leaves. In fact, I bet we see a lot of leaves go off the trees with this kind of heavy rain through the night tonight. But I don't think we're going to have any major flood threats across northern Georgia as a result of this rain. It's really beneficial to us across northern Georgia to get this kind of widespread rain right now. So, but we don't want to see any more severe storms. And this is the area of concern here now going through Smyrna, Mableton, Douglasville on its way toward
Homes
Paulding
to
County.
any unit on
Location is going to be
177.
7th Street Southwest at Victoria Place.
177
7th Street Southwest at Victoria Place.
That right now, but we do think Cascade Heights. We got hit this afternoon just about 25 minutes ago with a potential tornado. It was in Cascade Heights.
87 the radio.
Prayer permanent is 7.
Evans is Victoria.
Trying to see if we have a means of contact with you via radio.
Victoria is even 7th call. You cancel in 6 to pick that up. Last unit, I apologize.
Truck 14. Respond to 1299 Allen Avenue Southwest across of Aaron Avenue. Truck 14. Respond to 1299 Allen Avenue Southwest across of Aaron. Report of a tree down, 1857.
EMS at Boswell, South Haskell.
Eyewall is coming ashore as we
10-4 Boswell is now Haskell.
You can just see how
Hey, forward,
we
225.
are right now. We're not exposed outside. We are under an awning.
Hey, good,
of the
good,
hotel
thanks.
we're staying at. Let me just show you right now. If you come back,
Got myself.
I'll show you that we're under the awning here,
Stand by one,
so
Chief.
that we're not completely exposed, because there has been a lot
It is 187, confirming you're
of
responding.
flying debris outside. In fact, you can see
We're right at 7 court to do a check.
it's almost like a loose tooth, where every time a big wind pushes, it gets looser and looser, and I would
Variance 911, 7 court.
2411 to radio.
Evans Street Southwest at Victoria Place.
Not be
Evans Street
surprised
at Victoria
if you see this
Place
entire
Southwest.
thing come flying off. We've
I'm making an announcement that we're sharing with SO repeaters down. SO's going to be on fire repeater with us, so.
already seen parts of the other gate across the way fly off. In fact,
Highway 9 to get through. About to go across River Bridge.
if you look over here, Mike, there's a little piece of the
So we got the northwest corner.
gate right there. I've seen flying debris out here. There's a sign that's already been pushed over in the distance. You're looking at the Gulf of Mexico. We have been covering Hurricane Michael. It's going to make history here. This is
We got any units in the northwest corner?
That has not hit this area like
19 Homes 1, I'm out directing traffic just south of Bradley Road with a big tree across the road with fire department.
Power.
You should have 5 deputies in that zone. I've got a couple chainsaws. I can get to one of them. I can start going, cutting some of these trees out already. I just need to know where to meet them.
It's flickering at this point.
6 to
I'm not sure
1.
whether we're running on generators at this point, but we're talking.
JJ Whitaker Road. I'm 51 2.
8 to 1 on the units when you get a chance. Let them call in.
North of that zone.
160 units. What zone you supposed to be in?
Northwest corner.
We're just checking repeaters. SO's down, EMS is down. We're just doing repeater checks.
Just call right when you get over that way.
10-4.
Okay. Well, when you get a free moment, update us with the calls you got on CAD. It's holding.
10-4. I'm not sure if anybody copied that. Signal 4 vehicle stuck in the ditch, 177 just south of Alabama state line. She was trying to evacuate her residence. I'm not sure what her residence was, but advised that it was destroyed. Okay, retain 5.
17 Homes. I just made it to 177.
Here in
I'll head up and grab that.
Radio, add Battalion 5 to Victoria and Evans. We'll be out
10-4, thank you.
with.
I'm still on Tri-County trying to clear trees to get out of the call.
Force winds, potentially
I got
hurricane force winds as we move into the afternoon and as this thing comes ashore, and you can see off.
18 Homes.
18.
1G, can I get a radio check?
You advise the
Off into the distance,
Special
just
these,
incredible surf and
Rescue 97, 911.
waves out there. It is so rough out there. It is deadly.
Apologize, what was that last?
We're talking about threats of
Advise.
storm surge, rain.
Yes.
Good 12, thanks.
10-4.
550, got it.
Fall, and then of course the winds that we're dealing with that is already causing destruction around town. I do want to bring your attention again to this gate. We are protected here by the wall and here, but you can see.
Hey, so you're advising the shelter is 10-4. I apologize, your radio was cutting out.
The winds just pushing this gate over. Now it does look to be plastic, so it's not exactly the most durable material out there, but
173
it
and
will
Lions Lane is clear fast.
certainly fly, and if you were
Yeah,
hit
for
by
173
that
Lions
would
Lane.
Oh, well, you got
some very
you
significant
got anybody
damage.
in the
I'll
dispatch
also
can
draw
step
your
over to the
attention
EOC.
over to these trees
See
right
if
here.
anybody from DOT's in there. We're going to need some help out here on
The
90
wind
and
is
79.
just
They got
flapping the leaves
trees and
around
power
right
lines
now.
down. It's going to get dark.
Those trees could
We're gonna have
absolutely
somebody
snap from
signal
the
forward. We don't get some barricades or some lights up out here.
winds that we're feeling.
10-4.
Here, I mean, I can pull this out. This is what we're talking about. I'm going to put it down safely, but this is debris that's fallen off.
Paramedic Kitchen 9. Paramedic Kitchen 38. Truck 38. Battalion 4. EMS 2. Squad 4. Respond to 285 northbound at Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Paramedic engine 9, paramedic engine 38, truck 38, battalion 4, EMS 2, squad 4. Respond to I-285 northbound at Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Auto accident, possible entrapment, TAC 4 with an operator, 1903.
Engine now responding.
Hey guys, so we're back live here in Panama City Beach. We've been tracking Hurricane Michael for you. This is the first time we've really been able to get back out on the roads and begin assessing the damage around town. We're on the very far east side of Panama City Beach near St. Andrews State Park, and where we are, this is a local mobile home community, a very vulnerable place to what happened. You can just see the damage in this area took a ton of houses here, and slowly people are beginning to assess the damage here, and you can just see some of these homes, how vulnerable they were. And what I want to do is introduce you to Chuck here. Chuck, you and your family evacuated to Destin, and this is the first time you're coming back. Show us which one is your house and what you're looking at.
Yeah, this is the first time. We left yesterday at 3 p.m. and I just walked up on it. The turquoise one right here. And came down late Friday or late Friday night.
You are not correct.
Occupants are okay.
Everything held up pretty good. I got a little roof damage, and looks like everybody else is off my house.
What was your reaction when you came up and you saw your community? Because this is a community that is particularly vulnerable to these kinds of winds and potential flooding. What was going through your head when you saw everything?
I was afraid it was going to look like this because we're not real good wind rated, but I did a remodel on mine about a year and a half ago, and mine's up to 140 mile an hour standards now. So it looks like it works.
And now you said most of the folks in this community were able to evacuate and did so?
As far as I know, there were 6 or 8 people that stayed in here, and I think I've spoken to most every one of those so far, so they're okay.
And you left for Destin. When did you leave, and what was the drive back here like?
The drive back here, no traffic, and you really don't see any damage till you get about 2 miles from here, and then the damage starts.
Let's walk a little bit closer, and I just want to point out we are going to be very careful because we are still feeling very strong gusts of wind, and you can see just how much sheet metal. And if you look straight down the street here, again, we're on the east side of Panama City Beach, and you're just looking at there's a mobile home community here that just really took a hit from Hurricane Michael right now. And we're speaking with one of the homeowners here. This is Chuck. He and his family evacuated to Destin for the duration of the storm and have just come back. Point out a little bit of what you're looking at with your house here.
I'm looking at not a whole lot of damage, painting and a little bit of roof work. A lot of cleanup, but you know that goes with these storms.
Is this what you expected to see, you think?
With the size of the storm and the wind speed, yeah, I expected to see this. This is what I expected it to look like right here.
Now, you mentioned you've lived in this house for 18 years, is that correct?
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the other storms you've been through
and
what kind of damage you've had in the past.
Well, I think it was 2005 Ivan came through, and it was a bad storm too, but it took my roof and laid it out in the middle of the...
Here, go ahead. Can you look on your map?
Thank you. 3510, I appreciate you, sir. If you the Alpha Bonding Company, just want to see you're a white man wearing a white shirt. Should have on white hands as well, having 53 thoughts spreading to stab himself in front of the building. Didn't advise on the weapon. Again, stand by for another unit.
Oh, we'll get it cleaned up. Hashtag PCB will survive. There you go.
PCB will survive. Well, listen,
83 Kenmore Street, Southwest, across the Cascade Avenue. Truck 16, respond to 1683 Kenmore Street, Southwest, across the Cascade Avenue, report of a tree down, 1907.
Truck 16.
I'm popping in the head to Camilla PD.
Bill 610 on Memorial, 200 Memorial Drive on the 5-3, 30 possibly 69.
The first of the damage here because
3505.
It's still really windy and dangerous out here, but
Copy that.
the first time we
Showing the V4 residence south is your
around,
location there in the
we saw a
curve.
lot of damage. Just looking at
Yeah,
some
well,
of
someone's
this,
gonna come around
a
the
lot
other
of
side.
damage
There's
on
a
the way
tree
out
that I
here.
ain't gonna be able to get anything I
This
got.
mobile home community really
Stay still on those calls. Can you hold you out on those calls?
Somebody thought if they Chipley Road north clear.
Not a ton of structural damage. We're talking about a lot of the paneling here and the roofs, which is a good thing. We just spoke to Chuck, who said certainly it's not going to be as bad as it could have been. And we're working here. I think we lost Chuck here.
Question 5535, the target.
At all of the cleanup that has to be done in this community here. We're on the very far east side of Panama City Beach.
535.
You really can't go much further, and then you'll hit St. Andrews State Park.
Casino target.
But just a mess of out on the main roads here.
You buy someone's cleared it from Monica Shipley up.
We've seen power lines.
54, I'd have to have to create a card.
So you can go
Clear
well,
one,
you buy make contact with your
Okay, so it's 942.
The address is going to be 2024.
242.
Last address I can get to.
Call yesterday. I went out there, including dispatcher. No answer. I'll never get access to the building.
Start the back.
I was make contact. She called back again today, and she was about to make contact with you out there.
I'm sorry, I meant to ask, should we leave it as a 42? So going to leave the 42 be right? Copy.
You guys, we're going to they live in this community, and they actually are not the story. Are you guys okay? Is your house?
Yeah, we have a little bit of roof damage. Other people's stuff going onto our roof, but...
Yeah, you still need to hear this one at 391 17th Street or 391 on the Signal 42.
Really feeling some of the worst of the winds.
It looked like telephone lines, our sheriff.
Hell.
We cleared it now. We had it.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it was
scary. It was very scary.
Well, we've lived here for 21 years, and we've ridden through quite a few of them, but we decided to stay, and it was going to be heavy cat 2 or light cat 3, and then all of a sudden it blew up. And, yeah, we have a stick during the
Street or 391 on the Signal 42.
We thought the house was going to come apart.
It looked like telephone lines, our sheriff.
When you walked outside,
I mean, I'm sorry, but it was
the scary sounds and seeing things fly around the debris. When you looked outside and saw the community,
we've lived here for 21 years, and
this is a disaster, and it really is a disaster. We got a hold of the manager and told her it's a disaster. You can't get on any of this.
Firing route.
Get a big dumpster in here and start collecting metal up. So that's kind of where we're at with it.
Now, I imagine that this is also the
medical alarm. 19 hours.
But we decided to stay, and it was going to be heavy cat 2 or light cat 3. And then all of a sudden it blew up. And, yeah, we have a stick during the
Street or 391
we thought the house was going to come apart.
Great, there's going to be a fire alarm.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it was.
Says Waukesha in Michigan, that's there. Radio to utility truck 1, did you receive? Transfer to station 1.
That are in flood zone. And 3, 4.
Station 21 radio.
Go ahead.
Small truck.
Firing route. Affirmative.
Receive radio. They're supposed to be coming out of station 3.
It's not in a flood zone. There's just a very small part. Now, people that were in here and...
that's kind of where we're at.
Wait, 7600, copy S1.
I imagine this is also...
medical alarm. 19 hours.
But we decided to stay, yeah,
go ahead.
We thought the house was going to come apart.
Great, there's going to be a fire alarm.
Just wanted to say
I mean, I'm sorry.
Says Waukesha in Michigan, that's there. Radio to utility truck 1, did you receive? Transfer to station 1.
Anna and Ohio, and our girls
Station 21 radio.
Go ahead.
Small truck.
Firing route. Affirmative.
2 hours.
All matter radio. Receive radio. They're supposed to be coming out of station 3.
In a flood zone. There's just a very small part. It got really bad, and they knew it got bad. In here, we had no self-service. And
Wait, I can send you copy S1.
I imagine this is also the
Come on, Medical Or. Very cute,
we decided to
Okay. You can call me.
very strong
Go ahead.
parts of Georgia are really now having to stay alert.
There's going to be a fire alarm. Water show in Michigan. Radio to utility truck 1. Did you receive? Transport to station 1. Affirmative.
Piedmont and third, 72 stop on a gray Honda, Georgia Dodge, Charlie, Henry, Paul, 8231.
Wait, we can copy S1. Hello, we have a gray car Honda, Piedmont and third on Charlie Henry, Paul, 8231. One time.
Can you give me a call?
Water show in Michigan. Radio to utility truck 1. Did you receive? Transport to station 1. I want to tell you what the precinct. That's 1959. Affirmative.
Piedmont and third, 72 stop on a gray Honda, Georgia Dodge, Charlie, Henry, Paul, 8231.
Wait, we can send you copy S1. Hello, we have a gray car Honda, Piedmont and third on Charlie Henry, Paul, 8231. One time.
Can you give me a call?
Radio to utility truck 1. Did you receive? Transport to station 1. I want to tell you what the precinct. That's 1959. Affirmative.
Never fear saying I don't. I was very excited. I was the 11th grade or so. Very excited about learning Spanish. You're okay. Just a beautiful language. Our lady, our sister, our teacher was from Spain. And he said,
can you give me a call?
Radio to utility truck 1. Did you receive? Transport to station 1. That's 1959.
never fear saying I don't. I was very excited. I was the 11th grade or so. Very excited about learning Spanish. You're okay. Just a beautiful language. Our lady, our sister, our teacher was from Spain. And he said,
can you give me a call?
Never fear, sir. I don't. I was very excited.
And why do you want to go up on if they typically into the curve on Scott County and see what's clear and true?
Lady here sitting there. Teacher was from Spain.
Everyone will start for nail down or breathing. Yeah, taking over the
Never fear, sir.
One radio, utility, one radio. Yes, right. All traffic lights are out on Peter Street by Station 1.
Situation, but I can check. 3503, you didn't copy the information, right? Copy.
596 radio. Raise the unit out at 2 Inch Memorial.
3506.
I was wondering where all that darn sound was coming from. I'm like, looking.
Завтра выйду, постараюсь выйти.
The obstruction tree that was over Highway 90 in Washington County removed.
Все, ребята, удачи, всем хорошего дня, спокойной ночи, хорошего вечера. Все, всем пока-пока. Everybody, thank you for enjoy with me traveling. So, just welcome anytime.
I'm looking around.
Have a good evening, everybody. Yeah, спасибо большое.
Oh, hello.
Thank you.
I need to call.
155, let's see if I can take that.
It's raining outside here in Michigan.
Street Northwest. The cost due to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, apartment 211, 72-year-old, female, difficulty in breathing, 1923.
What was it?
No, right now, I'm just standing by for 10.
This one just keeps, the repeater keeps just repeating nothing.
What am I taking on the
1782, 1782.
Loaded on time out with 27.
10-4.
But again, great is talking to them at the same time.
Of course, we'll be right back. We'll be right back.
20 home. 20. Yeah, Lord. They want a number to contact the EOC.
With my mouth
they
all
tried
open
times, can't get a hold of anybody.
I'm not paying attention.
So our Blake phone line
One is going to be 17.
Aren't as well defined, especially on the western side of the storm now. So it is nice to see it is weakening. We wish it would weaken a little bit quicker, but we will continue to watch it as it rolls through southwestern Georgia. Big picture-wise, you can see the rain and the outer bands of the storm extend west all the way to around the Troy area of Alabama, all the way east through around Douglas in central Georgia. So the heart of the storm is closer to the eye. You can still kind of see it. It's just moving into the Morgan area where you can kind of see that lighter green color. That's where the eye was. It's obviously not very well defined right now as the storm has been inland for several hours. It's losing some of its organization. But to the north and east of this, we're still going to be seeing some pretty nasty rain bands rolling through. If you haven't seen them at your house just yet, you can see from around the Leary area all the way through Brentwood, up through Dawson, Parrott. This is where we're seeing some very, very intense gusting winds within these bands. And you're going to be hearing the wind howling still because we do still have some hurricane force wind gusts.
Uppercase, lowercase, you get different categories.
Probably embedded within these bands as they move off to the north and east. So heavy rain and the strong wind.
How do you spell Jeff Petrosky? How do you spell Petrosky?
Anyone know? The dispatcher advised that they're at Martin and Central. They were advised to just go on in and not stay. And 353, give me a moment to check with fire. Other than from our graded fire attempt. Yes, so let me find out what's going on with this fire.
It doesn't look so bad there.
Somebody coming out 26 in the air.
Okay.
Home, 1652, 177A, everything's 10-4.
I'll figure it out.
Homes to 20.
3510.
3510 coming up on stage. Washington 18 to Holmes.
Yeah, Colin, go ahead.
Have you heard from Holmes 29?
Where'd it go? Come back.
That's 10-4 East, 51A, J. Stevenson.
10-4, thank you. Oh, 03.
Why is everything going so slow today? I do have Broadcastify's open. That does it too.
Somebody's copy possibly of a homeless person out there.
I have to put a couple maybe on my tablet and play them through that way in a few, I guess. That'll free up some computer space. What's going on?
Corner of Pace. Home 17 Indian.
Paramedication 7, respond to Fulton Street Southwest at McDaniel Street. Paramedication 7, respond to Fulton Street Southwest at McDaniel Street.
Hurricane Michael now
Auto
moving toward
accident,
Georgia,
possible
weakening
injury,
as it goes, but
1929.
still, even as it weakens, it continues to have. We continue to be under the threat of
I have the black male, no clothes.
thunderstorms and possibly even tornadoes. We've already had some with
13 on.
13.
Trees are passable. From the east to Quickway, 177.
10-4, 177. Passable.
Wow, that's just crazy. He has an account. He always covers on the ground coverage. Let me see here.
We're up.
You go ahead and pull it up.
Okay. We just get information for you on that 7. Okay, black female, tan raincoat that the Salvation Army refused to leave.
You know, this stuff was going slow before I even started the stream. The internet's been wonky. It's been very wonky.
Well,
that's not the guy. That is not the guy. That is
469 Marietta Street, where there's a male. Okay, he's requesting to be picked up from the Salvation Army and taken to another shelter. Are you guys doing shelter?
3594 the radio, code 12 on that. We don't do that.
Okay.
I haven't even had all my supplements yet.
72.
Okay, I couldn't understand you. What's your number?
Weather.
155126.
155026.
Let's see. It used to be easier to find information.
It's 9 o'clock right now.
Everything locked down anymore.
Larceny.
Make everyone evacuate.
It may be on Georgia
That's
Tech.
a big tree. Look at that tree. Am I still on screen? Oh my goodness. Try not to stay up too long. It takes my.
Raising Georgia Tech on the air.
100 yards in all directions. No visible gas line, no odor of gas. Calls unsounded.
Georgia Tech 71. Be advised, it was stolen off campus, and we need a unit to respond.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware if you knew about it. Okay. We'll get someone out as soon as we can.
3594 to that unit. Where was it stolen off campus?
North. I drive in Island Avalon, I believe. Let me check real quick.
Go correct.
Where are you?
I'm sorry. Home 6 on 1.
Okay.
I guess there's nothing on this one. It's just a black screen. I might have to actually go to Facebook, which I very much dislike. I could go to Twitter, I guess. That's not going to do me anything either. Oh, we got Petrosky over here. I forgot about. It's the same thing. Oh. Jeff.
8 counties.
Anyone else
to be part
comes up?
of
This guy.
Emergency management. There are 150.
Petrosky.
Nothing. We have a power line down just south of Baker Landing on 179A.
And we are expecting these issues to be impacted.
10-4. Baker Landing, 179A.
That'll help.
Impacting us all the way into the early morning hours. Samantha Morris.
Let's try this.
Meteorologist tonight, and she has the very latest update for you here.
Very latest update for you.
Yeah, and I'm teaming with Wes Peary, another one of our 11 Alive meteorologists who's helping, especially when we get anything warned on.
I'm going to have to move up into Montgomery.
On radar analysis, so we're watching the circulation.
You copy that? The power line is only about 6 foot off the ground.
The eye is definitely less distinguishable, so it is weakening as it's moving inland. However, it still has 100-mile-per-hour winds, and it still has the potential.
The power line is only about 6 foot above the ground here.
Not just tropical storm force winds, but still hurricane force winds across southwest Georgia, and that threat to spawn tornadoes as it makes its way along this long trek all the way across our state, moving at 13 miles per hour to the north-northeast. So it is a Cat 2 right now at 100 miles per hour. It'll likely be weakened to a Category 1 as we head into the next hour. So it is weakening as it goes over land. It's losing its energy source off of the warm water here after slamming Panama City with 155-mile-per-hour winds. And as this storm entered as a Cat 3 into Georgia, that hasn't happened in well over 100 years. Since the late 1800s, the Georgia hurricane was the last Cat 3 to have ever hit Georgia. So that's also historical for us here in the state of Georgia. Now it is a Cat 2. It is weakened to a Cat 2, but it is heading towards Albany, into Showman, Cordele, Americus will all be affected as this moves to the northeast. And the main threat is going to be tornadoes as it makes its way all along this path. So the cone now focused just south of Macus and right through Augusta. And
homes to county unit near Valley Road. Homes to any county unit near Valley Road. I need someone route to 1717 Valley Road. 1717 Valley Road. Have a 22 verbal. One subject. Did fully signal 0 on the complainant.
Every one of these little bands, like spokes on a wheel, has the potential to spawn
brief, still spokes in the wheels,
spin up tornadoes. We've already seen them today. Now, tornado watch is still in place here all across central and south Georgia until 2 a.m. That does include the south metro area, but we had a tornado warning in the center of town.
Oh, yeah, weather today.
This area of broad rotation that was
Homestead County unit, did you copy?
Powder Springs. We're watching this area.
What's that address again?
1717 Valley Road, 1717 Valley Road.
Up as we head into the next 30 minutes or so. We've been closely monitoring chat and letting you know if there's anything that looks suspicious. So we'll keep our eyes on that. And also, they did issue a significant weather advisory for Cobb and Paulding, Douglas counties for some very heavy rain and gusty winds, and that potential that we have to watch for.
32 homes. 177A is now passable. At least one lane from 79 to Highway 2.
So all of this heavy rain coming down right now, heading into Rome.
10-4. Homes to units responding to Valley Road. Complainant moving to 2647 in Finger Lane. 2647 in Finger Lane. Suspect still 1012 at 1717 Valley Road.
Down here into Peachtree City, there's a band moving through and a heavier band getting ready to work its way. Slight chance in between Atlanta and Macon in the yellow here. That means they have a better chance, about a 2 out of 5 chance of seeing severe weather.
A convicted felon.
And here in this enhanced area from Macon to Augusta.
16, you want to stay on that side? I'll get on this side and we'll see what we can do with this one.
They have the best chance of seeing severe storms, and some of those could potentially spawn tornadoes tonight. This is why I'm staying inside. This is why I'm staying inside tonight. 100% chance of showers, storms, heavy rain throughout the evening hours and into the early morning as well. So we'll be looking at that threat until about drive time tomorrow, and then we're going to be dealing with less frequent bouts of heavy rain, and it'll start to taper off throughout the day tomorrow. But this is what we're going to be looking forward to, or not looking forward to, tonight on Wednesday, 9:30. These bands of rain cycling through, just rotating
2, 6, 4, 7, 26, 47.
around that center of circulation that will most likely be Tropical Storm Michael by the time we get to midnight. It's weakening quickly as it moves away from its warm waters that are fueling it, that latent energy that is fueling the storm. And then as we head into the early morning hours, though, look at this. I mean, we could have some very heavy rain in some of these spots where you see this bright, this dark red color, this bright pink color near Athens. This is indicative of a very strong band that could have relief. And we'll also be noticing a big change in the air mass as northwesterly winds will be kicking in, breezy and cool for the weekend. But in the meantime, we had that threat of severe as we head through tonight. We also have a threat for flooding. Now, across the Atlanta metro area proper, we're expecting to see right around an inch to about 2 inches here. Where you see the purple, that's like a 2-inch line, a contour.
10-4. Gilman Road off of
But once we get into the oranges, that gets into that 3, 4, 5-inch range, especially this huge swath here from about Covington and Athens southward, where we could see 3 to 5 inches and even several inches where we get training thunderstorms. And that's
we cleared the trees on the 4-lane, headed out of Boniface. It should be clear all the way to the Washington County line.
Dump rain. So because of that, the National Weather Service has this flash flood watch. That means we could see areas of flash flooding as we head into the late evening, overnight, and into
try to concentrate on the paved roads,
2 p.m. tomorrow,
179, 179A, Culver County
flash
paved
flooding
roads and state
situation.
roads.
So that would include
Let's see if we can get all them clear tonight.
and Athens, Washington,
and we may have to
You can do it.
start again in the morning on the
all these
dirt roads.
folks in these counties marked in green. But aside from that, anywhere where we're getting some of these heavy thunderstorms, we could have urban flooding.
For the JOR falls.
And if there are any clogs in the sewer system, you know how that can just close roads because folks can't pass them. So that's the flood threat. Now, as far as the wind threat here, tropical storm force winds can be expected near that center of circulation, but we can get some isolated gusts that are, 40-mile-per-hour range as we head into the overnight hours. So this is right now.
With power lines blocking the road.
So as we head into midnight, close to 40-mile-per-hour winds, this is tropical storm force wind gust here in LaGrange and Peachtree City, almost 35 miles an hour. Thomaston, 37-mile-per-hour winds. So the winds are going to be howling around midnight, especially here from I-20 southward.
In Finger Lane.
But then notice some of these thunderstorms that can be in these bands could easily produce severe thunderstorm strength winds. So we could be seeing very gusty winds even after midnight on the north side, like Gainesville, 35 miles per hour or so. 34, heading into the early morning hours. So it may be difficult to sleep tonight
54. I'm gonna
with the winds howling.
I've got a tree down
And with the frequent lightning and heavy downpours that we're going to see from some of these strong storms. But notice that center of circulation. There it is. It'll probably be a tropical storm by this.
There's going to be two here. One in Moss Road and just one in Triple Lane, just north of Triple Lane.
Time south of
you can feel it, right? Can you feel it?
So
it is there.
It'll be making some progress.
Follow up on something here that's based on its internal barometric pressure. Michael was
what?
The third most powerful hurricane to hit the United States
160
mainland,
results.
Behind an unnamed Labor Day storm in 1935, and of course Hurricane Camille in 1969. And based on wind speed, it was the fourth strongest behind that Labor Day storm without the name. And Camille and Andrew,
I thought we pushed the button.
From 1992. So this has been an extraordinary storm, the way it just seemed to gain all of that strength.
Was y'all able to get any emergency contact on the Signal 7?
All of that power. It was a
David is down
along the weekend.
At this time, I can try and name him.
And then it jumped immediately up to a Category 2 with that super warm water in the Gulf that just gave it all the energy, all the fuel it needed.
Anything on the tsunami over there?
I believe during this time there's a lot going on. We copied the social and plan to run it through David. However, we were not aware that David was down.
We know that there has
been
one death attributed to the storm in the United States.
Go away! What are you doing?
We do not have that subject information at us.
26.
It was by a man in the Panhandle.
1097.
5, Holmes. You got a signal 4, 79 and catch a flat line, signal 4. 1 female, 2 kids. You can have EMS now.
10-4. 10 location.
But according to the report that we have seen,
Highway 79, just north of Catcher's Flat Lane.
You simply do not know what to expect.
1 adult, 3 juvenile.
Copy.
This stuff never works when you want it to. I'm not
exactly, Jeff, and it seems like this warning came as quick.
Come on. There's a full-blown hurricane ramming through
Chump country. The moderate to heavy rain that we saw here, maybe in the last
Dow has gone to turds. And Fox News doesn't even know how to act, so it avoids your rally and Hurricane Michael together. So it avoids.
We're along Campbellton Road, not far from Fairburn Road, and behind.
Well, that's a beautiful wave.
Fantastic. Me is Maxwell. The Weather Center reported that
29 homes. 29.
Oh.
Tornado you were talking about, tornado warning in this area. Just in the last hour or so, we drove over here from the airport very quickly. Took us about 20 minutes to see if there was any damage.
Oh, I'm in the way, aren't I? I'm in the way.
Is happening, but so far nothing. What we saw were there was heavy rain at times, but no wind activity.
Oh, look at that. Freakishly warm ocean water is a major reason why Hurricane Michael became the strongest storm in decades. Look at that. Right in the driver's seat. This guy got stuck in the drive. Must be a Starbucks.
Couple vehicles involved. Nothing hit off.
Bomb.
A heavy rain that's falling here in South
10-4, give me the left.
West Atlanta. We got a report of a tree down not too far from here. We haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
we're going to check that area out.
Yeah.
Only damage.
Good idea, Tim. Good idea.
Open at 10 a.m. and then the first class again.
I got some hot info I haven't even looked at yet.
10-4, do you copy his location?
At 11 a.m. So let me repeat that one more time.
All I got was 179.
There are a number of people saying.
Correction, 177.
I think I just heard him say that UGA is going to be on a delay open, and that is correct. Again, they will be open at 10 a.m. First class will be held at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Let's check in with...
10-4, it's going to be 177.8 just south of County Road 65, just south of County Road 65.
Andy Parati. The last time we talked with Andy, we had him on television during our 5 and 6 o'clock newscast on...
One copy en route.
Alive. He was in the small community.
28 homes en route from Highway 279.
This is it, I think.
Yeah, Alberta, which is not far from Perry, Georgia. Not far from Warner Robins, sort of in the Macon.
To Crawford.
Here we go. I'd never make it as a radio broadcaster. I have a lot of dead air.
Juvenile patient. Minor injuries to the face, head, but she does need to be checked out. 10-4-5.
Rain was so thick, and you
p.m. on October 10th, 2018, and as you can
32, go ahead.
I think we're just
couldn't
going
see
to have
the road. We had to slow down multiple times. And
elderly,
why is this
male with head injuries, back of the head, hit it on the ground.
See by the pileup of icons here from my QuickTime player, I have tried to record.
Copy.
Apparently not a TV broadcaster either, because I need a little more
this
Wi-Fi.
Video several times, and my computer.
I don't need any more Wi-Fi. Actually, the Wi-Fi is what's caused my. Well, I don't claim it as my sickness, but it's definitely distressed this fleshy body.
60% of the way through the
my
video,
molecules
which
are spinning
won't be that long.
From the frequencies.
And the recorder just says
a little bit more. My I'll vaporize. No 5G.
So what I've decided.
Nextel was bad enough. This 3G's got me.
Information that I
had to move out in the country so I could get away from it all.
It's probably
now it's
the
coming
most
back.
Important information that I've gathered in the entire course of
moving into the country.
Investigation, short of any of the buoy data that I've been able to show you, where we don't have any hurricane
17
wind speeds at any of the places where a hurricane
allegedly wherever you're at.
Hit. This time, folks, we actually do have a hurricane, and it's
larger semis can't pass through at the triple lane tree.
The way the hurricane hit, that is of such great value.
I'll be 51 to you. 10-4, appreciate it.
So I'm going to give you an overview here. What I'm going to demonstrate to you guys is that we did have a hurricane.
Where the power line's blocking.
We had a hurricane come in, and I actually captured it live as it was happening, and that was the first series of failures that my computer started to experience. And what I was showing you in that video was
They are going to have to come in off of 179A.
Saying, let's do a walk down the beach. So I literally took you guys down here and I show you that at Mexico Beach we had 80-mile-an-hour winds, but they stopped right here at Overstreet. And they dropped down to like 45-mile-an-hour winds. So literally within like a 2-mile radius, we had no winds here in Overstreet. Then I took you from Mexico Beach. I took you up to the Tyndall Air Force Base. We had 86-mile-an-hour winds. Panama City, we had 86-mile-an-hour winds. Panama City Beach, which is literally like 20. What is it? Look, here's where it says here. It says it's 20.62 miles distance between Mexico Beach, in a linear straight line between Panama City Beach and Mexico Beach. It's only 20 0.62 miles. So for some reason, you guys, we had a hurricane that hit.
She's been like, I couldn't keep up with her. I was trying to monitor this stuff, and she's so quick and she's on it, and she's like getting up at 3 in the morning to check on it. This
Overstreet didn't show any hurricane force winds.
Just a beautiful soul.
They didn't even show. They showed like 48, and I'll show you all this in a minute. Overstreet, the highest wind speed captured on during this time while this hurricane hit was like 40 something, right? Youngstown, the same thing. Sunnyside, the same thing. Panama Beach, the same thing. There is only a 23-mile area, 23-mile distance that this hurricane hit with 86-mile-an-hour winds, and we did not find anything on the shore here. We did not, and I'll show you that right now. I'm going to take you to the buoys, and I want to show you.
I had 2 cups of coffee, and both of them are
all these buoys. The closest thing we have here, you got
2 hours
is a
cup.
61 knot, which is
with my fingers and my
close. Eyeballs. But it's still shy of hurricane force winds. And then I'm going to just scroll down.
Somehow we've got dark on me
and you're going to see we've got 40s, we've got 15.
It's 8 o'clock. I don't know where time goes.
27, and I'm just going to keep scrolling. You guys can slow this down in slow motion if you want. But this is just literally to capture the data while I have it available to, while we have it available to us. There is no hurricane caught in any of these buoys. And the buoys, you guys, I'm gonna reiterate, the buoys are what we measure these hurricanes by. It is by these buoys, and then once the storm comes on land, it is at the airports that we actually capture this data. So there's the whole pile of data from all the buoys, and as you can see, there are hundreds of buoys, and the closest, highest wind speed we got was from one buoy reading 61 knots, which is still shy of a hurricane. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is, guys. You may not like to hear this, but this is just the way it is. We do not have one single buoy picking up a hurricane in the water. So basically what I'm telling you guys is that I'm going to take you back to Google Earth here. We have a strike zone from Panama City, which is here, to the Tyndall Air Force Base that impacted a little bit. It got up to 74.5 miles an hour here at Mexico Beach. But just this area. It did not hit Youngstown. It did not hit Overstreet. It is more like a freight train went through here. Now, this may not seem like a big deal because we're looking at a map in an area that we're not that familiar with. But let me show you, relative to the size, what this should look like. Okay, what I did here was I actually drew a 2-scale map with what NASA actually NASA NOAA. What NASA's
primary on that call,
or NOAA's
primary that call
have been telling us. They tell us. Let's see.
I'm taking the call. And myself and 6
hurricane force winds right here. This is the paragraph I'm looking for. If hurricane force winds stretch out 45 miles from the center of the hurricane, and we know that the hurricane started at 86 miles an hour, then hit 86 miles an hour. I drew this 2-scale relative to this map down here to show you. 45 miles to the eye of
go ahead and
hurricane
cancel
hit right
EMS.
here, 86 miles.
We'll get them to the hospital by.
I'll just put this down a little bit lower so you can see.
Or another vehicle. This will take you much too much to get up
86 miles. We got 86 miles an hour in Panama City. We got 86 miles an hour in Tyndall Air Force Base, and we have 86 miles miles an hour down there at Mexico Beach.
2 to 3.
But that's it. But if you use how far out the hurricane force winds should have extended,
2 to
this is
3
how far
or
out the hurricane force
16.
winds should have extended. They should have extended a good 35 miles further. It should have engulfed Sunnyside. It should have wiped out Youngstown. It should have taken out Overstreet, Florida. But it didn't. Now imagine this. This is the hurricane. Now, this would be just for the part where you have hurricane strength winds from 74 to 86 and then 86 to 74. But then, you guys, it says here that it should
2 to 3.
have wind speeds should have extended tropical force winds, which would be 49 to 73 miles an hour, should have gone up to 185 miles from the center. So I can't even draw that on this map. I mean, I can't even do that because my paper is only 12 inches long. It would have taken us another 80 miles over to the east and another 100 miles to the west. So let's imagine this is what that hurricane was supposed to look like. Okay, this is what it was supposed to look like. It should be spinning around and hit everything
Let these people through. And I'll walk you through
in this area. And it didn't. It didn't, you guys. Instead of this hurricane actually hitting like this is the radius of the entire hurricane. Because by the time we get to Overstreet here, you guys, the wind speeds are under hurricane strength. They're way below. They're not even hardly tropical.
Holmes 1, were you trying to make contact with EOC?
Storm force winds. This was more like a weapon hit this area, and it only had a trajectory that it moved in land by about 20 miles at the most. So what I have to do is I have to demonstrate this with you. So let's go to Panama City Beach first. You'll see this is Panama City Beach.
Nice.
All right. And we're looking at between 12 and 1 o'clock. And here's what we're going to see.
Can you get somebody step into the emergency management? See if they're monitoring the EOC channel.
At 12:36, 46 miles.
I'm just advising you're trying to make contact with
an hour.
EOC
I hope you guys can see these numbers. 46 miles an hour. And they rose steadily from 11 o'clock in the morning, and you can notice that as soon as the wind speed increases, so like here, the wind speed goes up from 32 miles an hour to 36 miles an hour. As soon as it went up, those
2 to 32.
4 miles an hour, it registered that. So that happened in a period of 7 minutes. 20 minutes later, the wind speeds went up to 36 miles an hour. So you can see as the wind speed increases, it goes from 30 miles an hour to a peak at 46 miles an hour at 12:36, okay?
Guys.
Now, let's go to Panama City, which, according to Google Earth here, is literally Panama City.
Echo 4410 Lowell Way, Cross Street of Massachusetts Avenue and Keller Road, timeout 1903.
City Beach in Panama City.
And it's like, never raining anywhere. These broadcasters are. I like the left screen there.
They're 3 miles apart.
They show all this rain, and these broadcasters are out there, but you next to never see any rain or anything. There's nothing. It's like wag the dog.
In Panama City at the exact same time. Panama.
17. Diagonal respiration. 1551 Old Road, Engine 4,
EMS is trying to make it south past that.
1551
That power line heading in that direction on the south road.
Timeout 1904.
Okay. Now we're going to go to detailed
17. What was your cross street on 79?
Last 48 hours. And
blocking southbound
here,
traffic.
Remember that scale ended at 12:30 something. So this one takes us to 12:24. Look at these wind speeds, you guys.
At this time, you were at the mall.
This is the precision with which the World Trade Centers went down. I mean, we're talking highly isolated strategic hit. Look at these wind speeds, less than.
I was in New York just after 9/11.
3 miles away. We have wind speeds that
huge
started
military
increasing.
Operation. Oh, hey guys, hello! I just looked up.
Okay, so everybody was on
yes, I am live, Gordon.
Playing field at about 11:14.
No, you don't see me yet.
There's going to be an FHP unit available.
The wind started increasing at 11:30 to 40 miles an hour.
Moved tree out of the road, was struck by a vehicle.
10-4.
Then at 11:35 we have 40 miles an hour.
Hello.
At 11:40 they increased
How was your
to
nature
56.
walk?
They dropped down to
I've been stuck in this nature.
53. They go up to 55. Suddenly at 12:08 p.m. we have 82-mile-an-hour winds.
Popping up.
This is when I started recording. I caught the 86 mile-an-hour winds at 12:12. But the 86
I'm still watching your channel.
mile-an-hour winds, you guys, they only lasted about 8 minutes. And then they dropped to 77 miles an hour. Then 1 minute later, it dropped to 72 miles an hour. And by 12:24, everything was back to normal.
Now awake and talking. Had back surgery on Monday.
48 miles an hour.
Like a tree. Yeah. Yeah, if I stick my head in the ground first.
And that is within a 3-mile distance of Panama City, which the highest
I'm always looking over here. But the work's over here, I guess.
Speed was, I don't know, let's see if we can get back to Panama City.
You got a big screen over here.
Beach. Panama City Beach, the highest wind speed recorded there was
all right, I gotta free up some Wi-Fi space here. Sorry.
What I'm telling you guys is huge. This is huge information I'm sharing with you. Now let me show you Tyndall Air Force Base here.
Remember to have tape for your cameras, you know.
Florida. Same thing. Almost. This is nearly identical to what we saw.
Virginia, 48-333-60 Hotel.
This is crazy.
333-60 Hotel.
It is.
11:45.
Add that to the case order. It's going to be vehicle number 1.
Oh, yes,
number 2 is Wyong 83.
All these broadcastifies up, too.
As soon as FHP tells you they're not coming, we'll move them on the road.
The ones that were open at the time, a lot of them are down.
At about 11:45, they get
What town is your dad in?
Up to 55 miles an hour. The next change in wind speed is up to 82 miles an hour. That's at 12:08.
This one was just beep. beeping.
I'm 1098.
Yeah, still.
You can make.
That's all a lot of them are doing, or this emergency.
Exactly like what we saw at Panama City Beach. Let's hope this is focused. Okay. And then the wind speeds go 86 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour, 84 miles an hour, 86 miles an hour. At 12:20, okay, we're talking 12 minutes later, the wind speeds drop to 77 miles an hour. Then 1 minute later, they drop to 72 miles an hour. And then 3 minutes later, they drop to 48 miles an hour. You guys, that is not this by a long shot.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. See, all my stuff is just for educational purposes. Absolutely. Free use.
That is not this by a long shot.
I have a lot of dead air.
Okay. This, if this is the hurricane, as it's moving, you guys, imagine the storm moving. The wind speed should decrease down
if you want to do stuff like
over the course of the 200 miles.
Oh, here's the other
so if this storm was going for
well, you know, I can't speak for In Truth by Grace, but
you know, if the storm is going, let's say the storm's going 10 or let's say it's
or Michael over at EEA, you know, as long as
going 20 miles an hour, it still has 180.
I was going to look for something.
85 miles to go. This storm should have been continuing for hours and hours and hours as it reduced from
very much so.
86 miles an hour to 39 miles an hour. But that's not what happened. It literally,
be advised, I did make contact
with like a cannon hit this place. It goes from 86 miles an hour at 12:20
and had to use to assist there
to 48 miles an hour 4 minutes later. You guys, there is something completely messed up. You can't explain this any way using the model. No way whatsoever. This was not a hurricane that hit Panama City. Now let me show you the next city here in line. I have to show you Mexico. Mexico Beach, because that's the next place that this took a hit at. Let's go to Mexico Beach really quick. Mex.
So we're 1039 the SHP. They advise they'd have a trooper en route.
Ah! Stop.
Mexico Beach.
32 holds, Florida 28.
Go ahead and we can log it. However, we're not getting anything back from our system at this time.
It's raining here in Michigan.
Third vehicle, signal 4.
Go to Mexico Beach. We're going to go to 48 hours observed details, and we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to see that here we do see a little.
I whine a lot. I do. Most of you guys don't ever get to hear it.
Variation, just a bit though. It drops to 48 miles an hour. Well, actually, no. This is almost the exact same
Dragon,
cannon.
Subscribe. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, you guys. It isn't a variation.
Thank you very much. I will return to
11:45.
If I haven't already, I can't remember.
The wind speeds are up to 55 miles an hour. No, there's no variation. This is exactly the same thing. Now, you think that's something? Okay, let's look at Mexico Beach.
No, I was just trying.
Mexico Beach is right here.
I have the Discord up on the other computer, but nobody has talked since.
Let's look at Overstreet, which is literally like
I'm gonna see if I can put a message in.
It's like 2 miles away, 4 miles away.
The other one wouldn't open.
Overstreet, because we should surely be seeing the same readings at Overstreet, Florida. So let's type this.
Discord did.
1097 signal 4.
Over.
You can't get in Discord?
Florida. 29. Let's go to past observations.
29.
Reference I call on AJ Stevenson, unable to make passage in any direction.
Let's go down here. Look at this, you guys.
Yeah, you can share it on Discord.
Nothing anywhere close. We have some gusts.
I'm gonna try to open this computer.
We do have some gusts.
But I've got so many windows open.
Hurricane force
really bog it down.
Winds are registered by sustained winds. So these are sustained winds.
I'm trying right now on the one computer. It's been up all since I got on this morning.
Because the wind speed stays
and this other unit here
from 10:53
doesn't
to
seem to be
31 miles
coming
an hour.
up.
Then it changes at 11:03 p.m. It goes up to 40 miles an hour.
29 to 17. I'm unable to copy you. You have way too much background noise.
It's still 40 miles an hour at 11:20. At
it doesn't seem to want to pull up.
It is now 49 miles an hour. But the next height.
No, it's not cookies because it's not coming up. Oh wait, it did come up. It did come up.
Do my best.
Yeah, no, it's your end, brother.
Goes is at 12:53 at 58 miles an hour. You guys, the blast. The blast that hit Mexico Beach did not hit Overstreet. That is impossible. That is.
Well, this is old. Where's the new stuff? Streamer mode.
One home 17.
What's that mean?
17. 10-4. How far north can you go?
What's up with the streamer mode? What's that mean?
That is a 4-mile distance, you guys. That is absolutely 100%.
Do I want to disable that? What is that? No, that must be the
impossible.
I'm still learning
the about this. Thing. If you're talking about this storm,
I'm gonna shut this off though.
Right here, you guys. That is impossible.
I've got it on the other unit. Bum bum bum.
10-4. I was coming from the north, so I can only advise on the. There's a tree across the
because the highest wind speed we record here in Overstreet
just north
should
of Lane on 79.
Sure.
10-4. Thank you.
Be very, very close to 86 miles an hour. Darn.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just hanging out like I always do.
58 miles an hour. That's it.
I'd be watching this by myself.
This is like
otherwise,
30 minutes later.
Stream it out.
This is 30 minutes after the storm had just hit.
But all the
Tyndall Air Force Base.
All the emergency broadcasts.
Guys, what I'm telling you is huge.
Broadcast
it's
players
huge.
are down too. Most.
Then we have Young.
That's my cigarette roller.
Let's look at Youngstown because that's the next city to. Let's see, Youngstown, Florida. I'll show you that on Google Earth. Youngstown is up here. See Youngstown.
You should hear the crickets at night.
Focusing.
They sound wonderful.
Okay, this is Youngstown right here, right? So we're talking a distance inland of. Hold on, Youngstown to here.
Any unit
we're talking 27 miles
of the county,
right?
Close to Noma.
Let's look and see what happens at Youngstown. Youngstown, we're at Youngstown, Florida.
I can never remember AEL or
48-hour.
I need someone en route to White Street, Noma. Reference to 22 verbal. Fire
same
department 1012.
Same
the subject
time that this should have been speeding through. Okay, hurricane force winds to a 90-mile diameter. Right, this thing should have been this thing.
10-4, 10-51. 10-4. As it was escalating,
I'll show you here. I'm a little.
The subject has refused to move his vehicle and.
My little thing. Watch.
Situation is escalating very quickly.
This should have passed over Youngstown.
17.
Just about the same time. We should be seeing 74. Is it approached Youngstown over that 20 minute period? It should have really been blasting Youngstown by 12. I don't know, by 12:20. Look what happens. Absolutely.
29 to 17. I'll have to go all the way back to town to get to your location.
Sorry, it'll.
When
I start messing around with Periscope, it slows down YouTube. I apologize for all the breaks, but
nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I can't do anything about it.
Is remarkable. Look at this. 11:27.
Nobody has any real information. There's no, like, I want the people. Where's the people?
North Highway 79.
No, it's like nobody has a phone anymore.
Yeah, one of those on deputies.
It's only, there's never any you and I's out there anymore doing,
11:36.
It's like all their phones get cut off. 5 hours ago. Let's see what that looks like.
38 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour.
I believe, Tuberville's
46 miles an hour. How is that possible? How is this possible when there's...
Hold 233.
Literally a hurricane destroying Panama City. You guys, Panama City at the exact same time was getting hit by 86-mile-an-hour winds. How could those winds not...
Holmes 233.
Reach out to Youngstown, which is literally 13 miles away. According to this, you guys, the eye of the hurricane hit Panama City. As this storm is spinning around, you should at least see 74-mile-an-hour winds. But you don't. You don't. You don't see anything wider than this. You guys, what I'm telling you is that a targeted blast hit Panama City in the Air Force Base, but nothing else. You guys, I don't even know what to say. This is shocking, and this is why these wind speed readings actually count so much. Because if there was a hurricane hitting 4 miles away, there was a hurricane of 86 miles an hour hitting at this time right here. When 4 miles away from here.
Go outside and get a coffee.
Guys, that is impossible. You know, if there's a hurricane of 86 miles an hour.
I wish Periscope would update their system so it was a little more favorable for laptops.
45 miles should have felt the impact of that hurricane, and we're not even seeing that within 4 miles.
I want to go back.
Youngstown and Overstreet.
Let's see, because it doesn't give you an option without... Oh, and now I got an error. Right.
You guys, what I'm showing you is shocking. Now let's look at Sunnyside. Sunnyside is right here. Let's look at Sunnyside at the exact same time. I hope you guys get what I'm telling you.
I'll go back to Twitter in a little bit, and then if I can't find any videos, I will go to reluctantly Facebook. Okay. Live video stream, but that's such a pain in the butt.
48 hours.
Locks up everything.
Okay. Let's take a look at what was happening here at 11:30.
It's pretty much like a single screen
we have
deal.
34
you
miles
shut everything else off.
an hour, 30 miles an hour, 32 miles an hour.
And I don't like
12 o'clock, we got 36 miles an hour. 12:27, 36 miles an hour. 12:36, 36 miles an hour. Right now, there are 86-mile-an-hour winds happening less than 10 miles away. This is shocking. By 1:36. PM. You guys, and look, this I'm not even you guys, this is for sure. This is October 10th. This is today. These are today's readings. Okay, Sunnyside, the highest wind speed we had was 46 miles an hour at 1:36 p.m. And yet, And yet, what I've just shown you is that a hurricane literally blitzed through Panama City, and less than 20 miles away, we don't even have half that wind speed. You guys, I really hope you get what I'm laying down here.
1054 came in through Noma Fire.
It was like a targeted weapon hit Panama City today. There's something messed up. What, you guys, the whole enchilada I just wrapped together for you, showing you these wind speed data, this wind speed data from all these buoys. We can't establish that there was a hurricane in the water leading up to the shoreline. So that means all this stuff here, we can't establish that there was a hurricane anywhere here. We can't establish.
See, they just show cartoons.
That there was a hurricane anywhere here or anywhere here. We have a 23-mile area where a hurricane supposedly hit with an Air Force.
10-4. Can you advise that Sun Lake Road was passable? EMS was on the CT knew.
Base right smack dab in the middle.
Unsure, I was not able to make it to Sun Lake Road.
This is literally the most important video I think I've ever
made.
Relative to having all the other data that I have compiled for you guys for the last year. I've literally just shown you free fall speed.
Greenville. Thursville. This area down south is going to be the first.
I'm going to throw this on. I'll be right back.
That become
if
more
anyone's around,
to possible
flash. Donovan Homes.
I got to go grab a fresh cup of coffee.
And then another area that becomes a little bit more susceptible to flash.
Our channel's back down. Medic 1's going to see if he can fix that. In the meantime, would you let all Donovan units know that we are unable to communicate with the DOT at this time?
And not extend.
Not getting 79 clear.
3 miles.
They are not able to communicate with any of the district officers.
Helen very susceptible to flash flooding, especially
super
river flooding.
Super messed up is happening
this year. But all this rain runs.
All right, guys, I'm going to keep researching. I'll let you know what I come up with.
We're going to have to watch maybe for some flooding generally for most of us. We go back one more second here. This little bubble, this is where power outages will likely become more numerous with time. Winds are very strong. It's been raining there for some time. And so this is the areas where we have continued to see the increased likelihood of power outages and already maybe 1 inch, 2 inches of rainfall moving up into Atlanta. Jeff, I'm going to toss it back to you.
All right, thank you very much. We want to go to South Fulton County right now, check in again with Faith Obube, who has seen some damage as well.
Go ahead.
All right, we are having a few technical problems with Faith.
The city
we'll check in with her in a while. Let's give you an update as far as the number of people right now that are without power. At last check, 64,000 statewide, and the expectation is that certainly will be growing. It's now sitting at 68,000. Just as we projected, it is indeed growing. So 68,000 people statewide are without power right now. Again, Clark County has canceled all of its schooling for tomorrow.
Fire department
at 10 a.m. and classes will begin an hour later at 11 a.m. So we want to check back with Wes right now. Wes, give us a view of what you want to share with us right now. Look, this storm now is roughly the size of the state of Georgia. I mean, that's how large and expansive it is at this point.
Yeah, even before this thing made landfall, or as it was making landfall, the largest point from the Atlantic side of Georgia all the way to Alabama, that was not as wide as what the swath of showers and thunderstorms what is of Michael still currently. And so this thing is only just going to continue to dump lots more rain. If we can pull up our Max 2 or our Dual, I'm going to show you a little bit closer look at the rainfall. There it is, Atlanta, and just continuing to pour into Forest Park, Douglasville. It's just going to be a very rainy and very stormy night. Already probably seen lots of ponding on the roads, especially in the very urban areas in downtown and in Midtown, Buckhead. Water just has a tendency to really pool up there very, very quickly. Still underneath a tornado watch all the way up pretty much to the I-20 corridor and pouring in Helen.
up at Juneau, Silver City, pockets to moderate rainfall there. So this is the area that I've outlined in which we'll likely find more instances of power outages. The winds are very strong here, kind of on this northwest, northeastern, called the quadrant of what's left of Michael.
Like the
and it's been
hurricane's
raining
here.
there for a long time. So trees are being
Michigan,
pushed over. Power lines themselves are just being pushed over.
Much rain.
I believe Joe said we had about 68,000
as much rain as we're
people without power. This area will find increasing number of power outages as the storm continues to spin. And then you can almost kind of move this circled area up through Macon and then eventually up close to Augusta over the next 6 hours or so as the winds and the rain continue to pound the exact same areas. 5-foot watch still out in effect for pretty much everybody along and south and east of 85. Rainfall amounts, again in Atlanta, I mean, it's nothing too impressive at this point. The rain hasn't been coming down
now.
Highway 79, Cancun.
Okay, Google, how do you say I like you in French?
Je vous aime bien.
Hi guys, Steve Olson, WSL. And I've been thinking about the sun halo lately. And you know the big red sun halo that we see all over the world and that you can even point to somebody in the sky and they won't see it? That one? And I was reminded of a video I made on August 30th where it was just a music video, and it was just kind of showing the sky images of the world, that I get, and I'll keep doing these music videos where it's just a good way for me to put a lot of the images that y'all share with me into a video that everybody can see, right? And I hadn't been thinking about this for a while, but then I was looking at this video the other day, just kind of reminding myself of it. And if you'll remember in that video, we had the people from Colorado that sent us the picture of the big sun halo with the big ring around the sky. Remember that? And here it is again. And anytime you see that discoloration on the right and left of the sun, it is, I believe, one of these circuits, I guess you could call it. But this ring actually goes all the way around the sky. All the way around the skies you're going to see here. And it creates this like eyeball effect. And what's interesting about this is that we've also seen this in the past. We've seen this in like 1600s, right? But we can see this like this ring of energy that literally goes 360 degrees in the sky. You with me? So it's not just a big halo. There's something else going on when we see that halo. And I've been just noodling and noodling and noodling on this, And let me share an idea that I got about this. And it has to do with Nikola Tesla. Remember Nikola Tesla, the inventor of AC current, wireless technologies? He died broke and penniless, and they stole all of his works when he died. The FBI came, and the Croatian government came in his Croatian home. And so basically, the countries of the earth have his technology. They stole it from him. Let's just put it that way, okay? But I was reflecting on an article, and this has to do with an interview that he did in 1899.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of a metaphysical, very woo-woo kind of interview. But one of the things that stuck out in that interview was his regret, one of his regrets, about discoveries. First of all, he was talking about his great discoveries, like the ability to create earthquake vibrations. Are you hearing me? In 1899, Nikola Tesla knew how to create a vibration that would create an earthquake. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. I digress. 24. But anyway, here's the journal saying, well, he said, those were some of my most important discoveries, talking about vibration, technology, weaponry, and stuff. But he said, I'm a defeated man. I have not accomplished the greatest thing I could. And the journalist was like, what is that, Mr. Tesla? And Tesla said, I wanted to illuminate the whole Earth. What? There's enough electricity to become a second sun. Light would appear around the equator as a ring around Saturn. Mankind is not ready for the great and good. In Colorado Springs, I soak the Earth by electricity. We can also we can water the other energies, such as positive mental energy. They're in the music of Bach or Mozart, or in the verses of great poets. In the Earth's interior, there are energies of joy, peace, and love. Their expressions are a flower that grows from the earth, the food we get out of her, and everything that makes a man's homeland. I've spent years looking for the way that this energy could influence people, the beauty and the scent of roses that can be used as a medicine, and the sun rays as a food. Life has an infinite number of forms, and the duty of scientists is to find them in every form of matter. 3 things are essential in this. All I do is a search for them. I know I will not find them, but I will not give up on them. But let's talk about, he wanted to illuminate the whole earth. This is the only quote I can find like this, or piece of information about this, where he said there's enough electricity to become a second sun.
the same way.
And it just made me wonder, you know, is this ring in the sky, this big red ring that we're seeing, is this some type of a compensation where we discovered this technology from Nikola Tesla, and then in the 80s put this technology up or enhanced existing technology that was already there from past civilizations, whatever it might be, and re-engaged this artificial light source that we are now calling the sun, in the period of a time when the sun may be not as healthy as it once was, in hopes that we could spur food production and so forth, with maybe negative side effects like UV, high UV, or, you know, could also be turned into a weapon. I don't know. But all I can tell you is I've seen this ring around the sky in more places than one. And I can tell you that he talked about there being a ring if he was going to create that energy source, to create an artificial sun, if you will. And I'm not trying to get into an argument about is there an artificial sun or isn't there an artificial sun, right? But could that be the reason that we're seeing this? That this is not a celestial type thing? And this, what I'm talking about, is the this where we see.
I wouldn't make a very good radio talk show.
The light in one part of the sky connecting with the sun on the other part of the sky. Is that Nikola Tesla technology being implemented on the Earth? Sounds far out, man. It does. It sounds completely whacked out. I thought that this could be a second light source, that this could be a second sun. But I'm starting to wonder, is this technology of Nikola Tesla that was stolen from him, excuse me, and executed by the Earth's governments in order to create an artificial light source in the sky? It's just a thought that I wanted to put out there and an idea that I wanted to put out there. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I'd like to know. Do you think that we are seeing Tesla's technology implemented in our skies?
Tesla talked about speaking with others from outside the realm.
More to come this week. Trust me. It's going to get really busy on WSO in the next couple of days, so stay tuned.
Holmes to 27.
11, let's go ahead, 10-12.
10-4. We've been attempting to make contact with the medical examiner and try to use a cell phone number that we had for a medical examiner. Not being able to get through to anybody, I believe. Mostly phones, cell phones and landlines are out in State County. Information we're receiving.
10-4. Was you able to get up with rotation on funeral home?
Oh, yeah. Get it. Get it.
Yeah.
Good evening, it is Matt Rogers, and thank you for listening to this new broadcast, showing evidence of our skies of right now. I respect people in our community who send photographs in, genuine images that need to be showing on the screen. of the skies of right now is the red Kachina, the approaching Nibiru Planet X brown dwarf. We see many images now with a red colour reflecting through our skylines of different areas across the world. These genuine people demand the truth.
That kind of helps too.
So this is why we continue with showing the evidence. So I'm going to now produce this video for all of you to show you the skies of today, of the 10th
and then if
of
you
the
change
10th,
your channel,
2018.
the education category
That's just come through.
if
10 minutes ago,
you're not monetizing in any way,
has sent an image in of a situation of a cat hitting now. Let's take a look at the photograph. Okay, now this information is brand new. It's just come out through news media. Towards the area of Florida as well, Panama City Beach, Florida, 50-mile-an-hour winds. And this is north to northeast. And it is across where you can see as well, Mexico Beach, Florida. So this situation again is very strange weather patterns that we're seeing across the world. Now, what we're seeing here in the UK as well, Great Britain, is very high temperatures for October. People are speaking about this as well. Before, in October, the temperatures were quite low. But they're very strange indeed. So what is going on? There is something that is causing this strange weather patterns, climate change, abrupt changes to our world. Let's continue, and thank you, Iris, for this report that you've sent in. Because again, it's very important to show the photographs of right now and information of news reports that have come in just a short time ago. Thank you. Here we have another email that's just come through as well from Iris Turner from Florida.
Copyright stuff.
Look how weird the skies and the dark shadows are too from midday. It is awfully dark, same as the last few days. Lots of gamma rays and plasma. Prayers go out to the Gulf Coast side of Panhandle, Florida, as Michael at Cat 4 hurricane is hitting them as we speak. Much love and light for all beings now. Thank you, Matt. And I'm going to now show you the true photographs of what is happening in our skies as we start to see these hurricanes, storms. The thing is, other people are explaining that they spray very heavily towards areas of these storms.
I didn't want to do that.
Why are we seeing many storms and hurricanes now? Let's continue with this. See, this is a true situation on our hands because I've witnessed this myself and others in the community where when we see this change of the sun, we do see areas of a misted up sky spraying and the weather patterns become strange.
Give me a second.
So whatever's happening does cause a change to our weather, to our climate change, and also with the increase of spraying. So something is affecting our weather patterns when we start to see this big difference in our skies of a white sun. See, many people in the UK as well this afternoon, we saw a golden sunrise, and it was quite pleasant to see that, and the sun looked very normal. Clear skies as well. Not much of geoengineering, just about 20 to 24 chemical planes witnessed through the skies of the afternoon. But indeed, when we see a change in the sun, like this photograph that Iris Turner sent in, we see many chemtrails. What are they blocking out? See, again, when we see this, is this a coming of a pole shift? Very interesting, isn't it? Because indeed, when we see the differences again, they smudge out much more than they do when we see the golden sun. Here's another email that deserves to be seen and listened to, because people deserve to be listened to. It is important. Freedom of speech. This is what it's all about.
We're out here cutting the tree down
again,
just
it
a little
states
bit
here
north
from Stephen
of
Rafferty.
Canton Road.
Hey Matt, it's Stephen.
The guy just stopped by and said there's a power line down up there about 4 feet off the ground.
10-4, just north of you.
People are looking up. I mean, how can you miss that? But thank you for all your hard work you do. Take care and God bless. Now let's have a look at Stephen's photograph.
State line.
It is true, isn't it? They don't stop, do they? They start to
in a
spread.
hurricane, stay above flooding levels of a building, but don't go higher than you need to.
Trapping out
81 and 181.
this solar and weather that's heading into our atmosphere, radiation that pulls through as well.
I was trying to find out for Alabama emergency.
Something is being blocked out. And again, it's very interesting to speak about when we see the differences. They spray very hard. And other people are reporting across the world that they do this before a storm
between
or
White
a
Road and
hurricane.
Line Road with a trench over.
What is causing these storms? Let's continue. Here is a new email coming in from Mark from Utah. Hello, Matt. I hope this email finds you well. I've also had the very same strange phenomenon with shadows and beams of light here in our part of the world. I've been
on North Jericho Road, East 10-4. 10-4. 23
Trying to find. I want real people.
Good.
10-4. The advised fire department put barricades on 179A, just north of Skyview Lane. You got a tree down, a power line down.
Federal teams are in place.
Blocking one side of the road.
Watch everything go to crap now. I open this up.
14.
14.
See, but with that 181 when it's not at 81, it's about a quarter of a mile from 81 east. Westbound side still closed. The lines are about windshield level.
That's funny. That's my daughter.
10-4.
She's still the same. All right, well, 4 years later.
Oh, so you
all right,
all
live
that
video.
16
That's
anyway.
what I want.
That's 10-4. Are we getting caught up with our calls?
Yeah. I miss my daughter. I haven't seen my daughter and my son in quite a while. I just talked to them yesterday. The day before.
Still can't get on CAD.
They live in Lansing.
Are we still doing our calls?
Middle of the state. I live about 50 miles.
I've still got 3 or 4 welfare checks holding. I'm just waiting on signal 16 to be cleared before any deputy can get to them.
Oh, right. Man, how long have I been streaming? Because I'll stream till the end. Let me see here.
Trying to stay on the gas till we get something figured out.
I've got it set up. I'm going back on the other computer to see. I've got it set up so it'll show the thumbnail when you scroll along the bottom, and you should be able to find the location pretty easy. What's it been? 2 hours I've been streaming, so I always cut it off at like 3 hours 55 minutes because it will start to erase the beginning of the stream at 4 hours. All right, where am I at? Here we go. I've got too much going on. Let me open this up. Right, yes, Gordon. At about 1:45 in, probably 1:30. Truth by Grace is just before.
Holmes to 5.
$44 Holmes. I'm gonna be out with corrections. Holmes 5 with a signal 4. I'm gonna wait on FHP to get here.
So we're just advisor. I'm not able to get back on the phone with FHP. Their lines are busy.
I'm not sure I'm listening to the right
1026
broadcast, but it's what's available.
33 Holmes, copy 10-6.
The last time I looked. Oh, perfect. Hour and a half in. I really dislike this Facebook, but you can't get away from it. even if you delete it. All right, look at this. We got a whole bunch of cameras going on down here.
Go ahead.
This is what I want. I want personalized video.
1098, signal 4. 10-4.
Here's the hurricane. So slow. It is so slow. Come on. See this whole, there's no, look at, there's nothing where the storm is. This is why we're not getting anything. They killed all the cell phone towers. Because there's nothing in that whole zone. And you know that's something people record. Tonka Shala. I have to look that up. I'm not familiar with that word. It might be one of your own. I don't know. Let's try this little camera here. Look, nothing. Well, I don't know if they killed the cell phone towers, but there's one right here. I need to get zoomed in even further so I can. It's just the news outfits. That's what it is. Every time I've noticed, every time we do one of these storms, everyone's personal videos get knocked down or whatever. Nothing goes up. What's this guy here? I'm trying to get close enough to where everything just shows up here, but it looks like it's just all news, which doesn't do anybody good. Great Spirit of the Native American tribe. Oh, interesting. Tonka Shala. Tonka Shala. What is that? Tonka Shala. Nothing. Not a. Oh, what's this? See, this is the area.
It stops. Okay, hold them out.
Nope. Why is there? See, they did this. I was scrolled all the way in, and there was nothing, and now there's something. Right here is where the hurricane came through. Stop moving around. See, it doesn't let you. Okay, here we go.
To come up against the army.
And we've got a fish tank. Are you serious? A fish tank?
I'm over here in Vadosco. Oh, that was up. How the weather looking?
Yeah, it looks very.
It just started raining. Damn wind and shit blowing like hell.
Let's see what this guy's got to say.
Yeah, turn that bill.
Oops.
Really ain't shit happening over here in Courtman either, Black.
Uh-oh. What's going on? It was just playing. I'd rather hear this than ABC, NBC, CBS, BBC, Capcom. Come on. See, they won't let you play it. It doesn't come up. It does not come up. This is what I've noticed during the storms. Come on. Sorry.
Working their way outwards to the areas that were affected most.
Here we go.
And I was seeing some videos from Panama City, and it looked pretty bad. Mexico Beach was like Mexico.
Where do you buy that cross street was?
I'm not going to try to enlarge it because it doesn't let me watch it.
Mexico Beach was like Mexico, no.
If it doesn't show up in this left scroll
I saw
column,
videos of Panama City where like roofs were just getting like ripped off.
it takes you to the other page, and if you're not subscribed to them,
But they were getting. We got really lucky when the storm initially.
I don't know if that's how it works.
Said that it was going to come this way. The eye was supposed to be right over Tallahassee, and I'm really glad we didn't have to deal with that because that would have been 150-something mile-per-hour winds in the city, and just with the 60, 75-mile-per-hour gusts we were getting today in Tallahassee, I would not have wanted to be a part of 150 plus. Oh yeah, it is Brandon. Can you see him right now? White shadow. Oh yeah.
17 off.
Okay.
We've got on this one that monster about as much as we can. There's going to be about a foot of tree around the white line marked off with crime scene tape. We'll deal with somebody with the power company. I don't know if they're going to come out, but we're probably going to need some help with the power line at the triple lane tree.
Ten forward. District 14, all power companies advised they would not respond until AM.
Yeah, I only use it for Facebook when it's one of these storms. One of these manufacturers.
Let me go in the house. Woo, girl, let me go in the house.
Calls to any unit in Beaver Lane.
But you know, even when you delete the app and everything, they're still dragging all your information. The first time you ever got on Facebook, check the caption.
Calls to county unit, any unit in route 2761 Beaver Lane. 2761 Beaver Lane, have a 22 physical in progress.
To get up, basically. And it's still is recording your voice and your data and your unit and your devices.
And we're at Fenimore Road that runs off of R.B. Carter Parkway, out of Highway 90, NBA.
Scary Mary.
Father and daughter is out. The father is taking the daughter out.
We almost took me away.
54, it's going to be Highway 90, just west of Forestry.
Hell, we ain't quite.
That's 10-4, I'm going to south.
They could do a better job with their
home
live
state. Are you
stream
available?
page too. Come on. See how it doesn't let you do anything? It was the same one.
And try to take us.
Next couple hours. This will be for areas just leaving outside of Randolph County and going into Sumter counties. And this will be for the next,
responding to 22 physical?
at least through the next 4 hours or so. 2 to 7 inches of rainfall.
Still got some areas of flooding. And
obviously the widespread power outage is being reported on Twitter. Alabama Power.
2761 Beaver Lane. 2761 Beaver Lane. From father and daughter.
And it's starting to creep up
Father
into
is
southern
choking the
counties of
daughter.
Barber County. At Georgia's side, with thousands, even as far.
Was that going to be the campsite?
Did you advise it's off R.B. Carter? That's important. Home side, if you turn to RV Carter, stay left. It's going to be at the dead end.
Father was choking the daughter, huh? Come on. It's probably the same one, no.
Hello, Brogo.
Well, this isn't going anywhere. Let's see. Let's try over here.
1097, 1293. You got 43 on it.
Charlie
working through homes 1. Did not advise 2 should be 1012. Just that you need a welfare check on the residents at this location.
I don't like Facebook anyway.
A storm or a hurricane. What is causing these storms? Let's continue. Here is a new email coming in from Mark from Utah. Hello Matt, I hope this email finds you well. I've also had the very same strange phenomenon with shadows and beams of light here in our part of the world. I've been a weather observer for more than 40 years, and this is something that has been occurring really all over the past few years. We are also seeing the same sun. It is not the same colour of the past. But the heat is intensity has increased by a great degree. There is no doubt that we are facing something that we can't yet imagine. Thanks for what you do, Matt. All the best from Moab in Utah. P.S. Enclose a picture of these beams at my back door on October the 8th of 2018. Let's check out Mark's photographs. Okay, so please remember that these photographs came in from Utah. Different parts of different areas across the world are seeing these huge shadows, these astronomical shadows that we're seeing again above and through these cloud systems with this other strange colour. So indeed people are noticing, and we've seen this on the webcams and other people's photographs just recently on different videos,
massive amounts of food and
these strange shadows.
We have
what are they from? Other people explain as well. They are from other objects out there in our solar system.
I have 3 welfare checks holding. One on AJ Severson that she went to earlier at Carmichael Road, and also 1820 North Highway 79.
10-4. Give me the one on 79 since I'm not here.
That's certainly not what I wanted.
10-4. It's going to be 1820 North Highway 79, 1820 North Highway 79. It's going to be on a Michael Thrush.
We've been in constant communications with Governor Rick Scott of Florida and with all of the authorities in the various states. We're very well prepared for it, massive amounts of food, and we have first responders all over. The electrical companies are staged and ready to go in immediately after the storm leaves. Thousands of people, hundreds of trucks, actually over 1,000 trucks. So we have large amounts of food and water and everything else that you need, and that will go immediately be rushed in as the storm leaves. Federal resources are on the ground at every level, and so we are absolutely ready. It's a top priority, and the single top priority is the saving of life.
There's water in the ditches where the newscasters stand. I'm sorry.
Here we have 2 brand new attachments that have come in from Jonas. Now this guy member in our community is taking the photography for the United States of America.
RV Carter, hang left at both wides. It's going to be the very last house on the right, called Beaver Lane. There should be only 2 residents on that right side.
The truth. What we're seeing here is a chemical formation, and as through the email, it just sticks in the atmosphere. It does not move. You can see the cloud systems below on the photograph. Explained again, they move. But again, above, it just sticks and stays. Let's show you the other photograph as well as we talk through these photos.
Oh, dang.
Looking,
did you see
when
that?
we're zooming into
I
this
gotta
photograph,
replay that.
we could pick up the formations very clear. These are not...
That's intense. This is a good video. Let me replay that. I gotta share this. This is a good video. I might have to. Let's look at this full screen. Give me the speaker. Come on. Where's the speaker button? Give me the speaker button. There we go. Sorry.
Bravo.
Holy hell!
That was a cinder block wall that went down. Oh, that house is gone. Can we watch that one more time? I like that. Well, not like it, but that was intense.
Holy hell!
Wow, 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 wow. Incredible. Incredible.
Natural cloud systems. Again,
17.
this situation of increasing of storms, when they spray our skies,
That's 10-4.
and we see a difference. There's big reports around the world as well about these activities of hurricanes and storms. There is a link to this, there's got to be, but they don't speak about the link between what is going on and what we're witnessing through the skies. Thank you for these images. Okay, an email's come through from Brandy. Now Brandy's from Oregon. The email came in 2 hours ago. This was taken just after 8 AM. Good morning, mister. Golden sun. Hope the clouds clear up soon. More to follow. Thank you and God bless. Let's check out Brandy's photographs. Okay, this is a very interesting photograph. What we're seeing is the rising, but above we're seeing some object that is behind this chemical haze. Cloud systems. It is being picked up here, isn't it? Very evident. Let's do some zoom in shots. Here we have the photograph that has been zoomed in. Now, are we seeing a dark star? Above we're seeing of the plasma that's below there.
I was watching the other screen.
Upon the horizon. Something is reflecting and it's being picked up, isn't it? Let's change the contrast. Now, looking at different photography for many years and working with photography as well, I can clearly see, and others in the community, that that is not a lens flare. That is something that is behind this formation that we see in the skies.
Riley, you hungry yet?
It will be picked up when we see chemical trails in the background. Things will be seen. It is so evident.
Right here, right next
so
to me.
the plasma below as well And then we're seeing something else just here, or are we seeing the moon? Or a known object of interest? Or is it indeed just a normal formation in the skies? Again, that's carry on. It is important to continue with the photography. Thank you again for this image and your kind email. God bless. We have brand new attachments that have just come through from Robert Morrison, showing you this.
Someone's got their drone. See, I need a drone. Someone want to get me a yes, Riley. R-A-L-E-Y, but yeah. Courage. He's courage, really. That's pretty cool. This guy got a drone. Did you see that? You missed that other one, Gordon. Oh, it was incredible.
Home status. Home live status. Stand for home.
Not going to school on Monday, boys. Oh, run into the net. Oh, that was it. Let me see if I can. I'm sure we'll run into it again. That was cool. I like those
Haze in the sky. This is geoengineering. This is corruption again. When we see a difference, they spray the skies become dark. The evidence is also, when the skies become dark, it is because our sun is being eclipsed by Nemesis, the binary companion star. Now, again, other people in our community share the same thoughts. And chemical trails will not darken our skies. Cloud systems cannot just straight away darken our skies. Our sun is a huge celestial body that's out there in our solar system. And it's being affected. We're being pounded with heavy amounts of radiation right now.
Yeah, it's not the right color.
And in our near future, there's going to be others that are going to survive the coming cataclysm. See, all they're doing as well, the powers that were, is slowly trying to confuse the public to making out that things are okay. It is a slow process, a build-up, and people around the world have got used to seeing this slow build-up, this process. Many people in our younger generation just think that it's just normal because they have got used to this. I mean, again, they started to geoengineer a long time ago. So people from many years back, like we have in our community as well, there is a 97-year-old lady, a kind lady in our community,
9/11,
that emails as well. She gets her daughter to email me, stating that I am absolutely right, that what we are seeing in our skies. So we must respect the older community that are speaking out as well, noticing the differences and changes. But those in power, again, will try and ridicule the truth and say that everything is just normal and fine. The reason why they chemtrail is because our sun is being affected and our skies are being manipulated. This is a smudge out to hide what is to come.
I see those. See how they steer it?
This photograph has just come through from Robert Morrison right now. Look at the skies behind where we're seeing this tree. Look at the white reflection that is behind the branches. And this colour as well that's reflecting upon those chemical formations or cloud systems. What is going on again? We are seeing many of this now, and it's just unbelievable how people are just turning away from this. Let's carry on.
Thank you, Gordon.
Now this photograph just come through 5 minutes ago as well from Pennywell. And the email states that cloud systems are far too low and seeing a strange haze, a smokescreen that is thousands of feet high. Strange cloud systems in strange formations. I mean, look at the top area in the background. It is smudged out. That is aluminium. And what we're seeing is, on the photograph of truth, is a white sun rising. Where is the golden haze? The golden sun. Indeed, the golden sun is behind this reflector, or a white sun.
I like how Matt Rogers can just talk and talk and talk.
Much darker.
And sometimes they'll like repeat the same
before
thing for each
we
picture,
see our
and
golden
it's like
sun
it's new
now,
each time for him. And it's just wonderful
it
how
would
he
be
can
much
do that.
darker. So they manipulate the skies again to try and confuse the public and bide in their time. This is the Agenda 21. And all day long, through different days, through different weeks and months, this has been happening. Let's continue. Here's another new email that's come through from Johannesburg, Southern Africa, from Wien van Zel. Dear Matt, this photograph was taken by me 5 minutes ago in Johannesburg, South Africa at 4:30 p.m. We are being told it might rain. This is occurring more frequently now than the heat is almost unbearable.
I gotta chill up my leg.
If you can use this photo, feel free to do so again. Not a good camera, so this might just be for your records. Kind regards.
Do it any around Bonifay.
I respect people in our community. Any type of photography that is genuine must be seen.
So let's take a look. This one's incredible.
So can you our community?
This video here is incredible.
Amazing. Because we're reaching out now towards Africa.
With injuries.
This is important because the sightings in Africa are very similar to the sightings
earlier when you were smoking. Or no, this is only part of it.
The Far East, Russia.
Oh no, this is.
We're getting other videos.
Holy hell!
I know, right? Watch this cinder block wall down there. I'll play it again because you can't catch it all at the time.
And Warren says 1820 Highway 79 address to Herman's Rush.
In like what? 2 minutes, that whole house has been destroyed.
And others, just like yourself,
right?
Support.
I mean, it's not good, but it's still incredible.
This email is just coming straight through as well.
Holy hell!
40 to 2.
Things like family, work, a bit of a situation.
So go ahead.
So I'm going to produce videos.
We're getting back to the shop, boss. You want to hook that generator to the gas pump?
And like the photography I will show the real images.
That is just insane.
This photograph as well has come in from Dennis. He states
that is
also,
just crazy.
From other emails, other people explain this as well, that they see these planes in the sky spray heavily across the area that we see of the sun, and let's check out the other image of the truth.
It is.
I mean, look at this. As Dennis has zoomed back out again, after seeing that chemical plane, you see those lines in the skies, and you can see a rise of a white reflection behind these cloud systems. This is another situation.
It got
because
seen somewhere.
The
I
sun
mean,
that is rising
it wasn't showing up on any of
white.
The data points.
We should be still seeing a golden sunrise that we saw from a long time ago. And
surge there, though.
This corruption in our skies above is where we see these other formations that have been sprayed through the night time, and they stick there as well and multiply. So during the day, our sun is being smudged out. So those again that are walking in these areas across the world,
14 on 191's open both lanes.
Second star that will reflect
I don't have music.
through the daytime skies. I'm going to then now show you Dennis's other photo. See, also during the day, upon a sunset, look at what they do. In front of the area that we see of the sun, we see these geoengineering chemical trails. Something will be seen. Now, we spoke about the SPT telescope based at the South Pole. And why have they placed it there? They could have built a telescope just as easily somewhere else at a cheaper price. Yes, indeed, the taxpayers' money.
If it ever loads, here we go.
They are tracking this system. They know it's out there. And still, as they track the system, the powers that were are still fooling the public, trying to send out disinformation.
We got to turn all the back on. Okay.
After disinformation, let's continue. We're looking at Dennis's other photograph as well, where we saw that phenomenon of the golden sun again being sprayed heavily in front of where we see it through the eyesight of what we see through the skies, and it's left like this. Now, I spoke to a lady. I parked my
Everybody stand forward here if you can. Just notify your complaining. I realize you're 10-6.
I could see these trails in the skies. So
I saw this lady,
and she was walking the opposite way, and I said, look up to the skies. Look at these trails. Can you see what they're doing? And straight away, this lady just gave me a blank look, and then just didn't even take a look towards the skies. Just turned around and walked away.
Alright,
see, this is how they've got people now trapped in this propaganda world that we live in now. See, it is happening. This is the truth. And it's so frustrating again that people do not look up. Let's continue with these photographs. Okay, here's some important information. Now, I have this book and it is very important. And it has some very good information. Surviving the Planet X Tribulation, a faith-based leadership guide by Marshall Masters. I follow his work and read and study of what has been spoken about
I gotta do more videos.
Tribulation.
It was like a month there. I didn't do anything but watch you guys.
And small wallets. This is what is described.
I find I'm able to spread a better message just through the
because
chat.
God intends for you to be part
you
of
get
the
everybody
solution.
that
Your role
actually
is to be
that knows and is interested.
A mentor,
and just
a
kind of,
comforter, and teacher
hold
during
their hands.
Read this study.
Make sure they know that they're not alone.
Now, it gets very important as well with this read thoroughly to prepare for your true leader you admire and respect. The same clear
notified and dispatched, but not provided ETA.
Hand that leader this book, as you say. You need a plan, and this is a plan that will work for what is coming. Please read it, and if you have any questions, I am always at your service. Now, Marshall Masters
and all my music is
was a true warrior
from YouTube's
and I respect everything he's done. Trying to
file, so there's never any. My music, there's never any copyright issues.
This information again, it needs to be spoken about still to this day.
And if it requires
because we can now see the changes appearing in our skies on the photographs that come through on many skywatchers. Genuine people that want to speak out and let others see of what they're seeing now. Okay, now with this diagram in the upper row of the illustration above, we see the representation of Nemesis, Nibiru and our Sun. From left to right, we see the orbital movement of Nemesis and Nibiru around the Sun as Nemesis enters the zone of acceleration in its
kind
orbit.
of bugger off. You know, it's middle
Now,
of October
the below
now.
diagram that we see on the example of the Terminator, which for the purpose of our conversation is like a baby's head crowning.
Oh, there you go, brother.
In astronomy, the Terminator is the divided line between the illuminated side
like
and the part which is not
those categories. You
illuminated
put news and
of a
politics and
satellite
your
or
channel's
planet.
getting taken
In
down.
other words, the Terminator is where the day side and night side meet. Now this is the most important part of what we're seeing on photographs and images around the world right now. At or about this time we can expect a change of colour for Nibiru, as it will be closing with the Earth and the blue shift.
I dislike them and I put up with
showing
them
in
because
the
I
lower
can't
right corner of the
So then they
illustration.
seem to
This
propagate
is
and
the
come
blue
back to me because
shift
it's kind of a
Doppler
safe zone,
effect.
even though it's not. I can't kill nothing.
Here we see the reverse sky from the popular
it's not like I haven't
illustration
killed a bug
above.
before, but
However,
for a
we
spider,
have the same alignments along with the ecliptic for the moon,
I think each one
for
of
the
them
star
has a.
regulars,
There's
with
a
the
reason
sun
that they're
and
here,
Nibiru
and
in the constellation
who am
Virgo.
I to decide when they're like, no?
available in zone 2.
It's kind of how I look
Now
at
indeed, these
life in
illustrations
general.
from 2017 and
And
things
I
are
just
being
received a
picked up
report
now
of
as
people
evidence
breaking
of this
into
blue
multiple houses on
reflection.
Meredith Lane.
It states here with this other example, we assume that Nibiru will appear
Do I
in
have
the
too
same
much
position
bullshit going on?
relative to the Sun as it did on July 10, 2017. In this case, staring at
65
the
homes.
Sun
Do I have too
and
much
Nibiru in the constellation
sounds going on
We
here?
got a
Get rid of
signal
those
4
911
out
where is
here
it now?
on the interstate,
We
just
are
past
seeing
Holmes County line. There's a
such a
tree
difference
down,
of our
and
Sun
there's
for
an overturned
2018.
car. I'm not sure what's going on. 40 is
This is other information to go on
chasing
to how
a
to catch
guy
the
pulling a
Planet
fifth
X system.
I've got an
camper.
earplug with
Using
one
technology.
feed, I've got the real feed, and
They
the
will
other
be
here.
using eclipse
I'm talking,
glasses or
so I
welder's
can't tell.
glasses to protect their eyes, as they should. However, this could make it difficult for them to observe an
see
object
this one?
behind the Sun. Another reason is the field of view. Folks will naturally
Two
want to
holes.
fill the camera frame with the
Okay.
eclipse,
How did I
which
jump
could
down?
leave
They must have
planet
refed me
objects
some new
outside
feeds.
of the recorded field
I
of
get
view.
refed me some new feeds.
Below that you see with the diagram is a graphic
what's this?
animation
Have
of the best way
listed
to
homes
observe the
27,
eclipse
homes 11.
with a digital camera or smartphone,
411
and to
doesn't take 10-8.
capture
I'll call
one more
27.
object in the Planet X system.
I guess I could shut the other video down, the sound.
For those who
But I'll
are
do it in a
capable
minute.
of observing the eclipse from a
It's
path
like froze
of
up for whatever
total, this quick scan technique takes approximately 15 seconds and will provide the widest possible
10-8, signal
field of
16,
view
Sarah
for
Gordon,
Planet X
51
observations.
to Meredith Lane.
So indeed,
Oh,
is
now it's
there
gonna
actual
play.
proof that at altitude observations
try this again.
are better than ground-based observations? If this
Altitude home
were
11.
the case, why would NASA operate a
State by state,
observatory
one angel at a time.
I'll take as many hits so to make contact
So
with this detail on.
observatory? This is being used right now to this day to observe the skies at a high altitude. Okay, I'm going to speak out some information to the new members of our
Yeah, I
community
know.
about the Planet X bodies out there. It states the Planet X system is a mini
Let me do that.
constellation.
Unit
The
calling, go
system's
ahead.
core is Nemesis, the Brandable star, a smaller
It's always hard
companion to our own
when
sun.
you're doing this. You
There are
can't.
planets
Go ahead.
orbit
Not really
around
focused
Nemesis.
on everything you try to do.
Furthermore,
20 things.
one from Nemesis is Nibiru. Consequently, Nibiru will be the first of the major planets in orbit around Nemesis to pass a point of
10
perihelion
2011 Chevy white and color,
to
Everett Grigg,
our
stop
own
shopping, decals current 5429.
as it enters the area of space on our side of the Sun. In succession of
We got
other
a vehicle
objects,
description.
planets of the Planet X system will do the
54,
same
guys,
in
they were on
advance
set.
of Nemesis reaching perihelion. We will address this later on other videos because it's very important for our community to become aware of this.
Any type.
But the relevant point here is that the better horizon is a huge benefit of a
I
altitude
didn't even
of
realize I had the
observations.
screen on. Hello.
The reason is
about
that
that.
the entire planet
Sorry,
system
belly.
is currently behind the sun. So there are only 2 times in the day
10-4, it's going to be coming in through our
observe it,
telecommunications,
near the sunrise
Facebook,
and again near the sunset.
advise that
because the
there
sun
was people
is
on the
not
road.
as
Do not
bright
advise an
at these
exact
times.
location. Do not give a vehicle
It is
description, just that
possible
they were on foot
to briefly
in
see the
residences that they
objects
did not
behind
own.
it. A common problem with ground-based observations, such as the webcams of videos, is that there is a little of separation between the sun and the horizon. This is due to complications of tree lines, structures, and so forth. This result is difficult viewing situations which are further complicated by atmospheric ground weather. And these chemtrails we see through the skies, spraying the sunrise and the sundown.
Out here on I-10, gentleman said he's not injured his overturned vehicle. The tree almost always across the road. Myself
even on photographs
on the other side of the tree.
Observing the heavens, we can see exactly what is going on.
10-4, we were advised that there were 2 vehicles, 2 possible patients. Can you advise further on that?
To have these issues to deal with.
There's
Likewise,
a truck,
there is
I believe, pulling
also
a camper.
Considerably
Is
more
what it looks like to me right
separation
here.
between
But
the sun and
the
the
gentleman
horizon.
just told me there's no injuries. I'm
Thanks
just
to
on
a
the
much
other
clearer
side of this tree trying to
observation,
slow people
free
down.
sky viewing.
10-4, sir, so we can cancel EMS.
What's it doing?
I'm going to give more information about this on another video as well.
10-4, just clarifying that we can 1022 EMS.
Truth.
Yes, ma'am, I believe so.
This information has come through.
10-4, thank you.
This Hurricane Michael. Hurricane Michael makes
Dispatch
landfall
from
in
Rescue
Florida.
1.
Live updates. Storm still intensifying as it makes landfall near Mexico Beach, Florida. 77,874 households without power, according to the Gulf Power. Will we soon see Category 6 hurricanes? Yes, we will. We're going to see much worse, as these objects affecting our sun, the changes are so evident. Let's continue again. Here's a photograph just come through 2 minutes ago, showing the floods. The situation with Hurricane Michael. It's always happening, isn't it? At random times. It's always happening again when we see a change of our sun. It's important to notice as well, when we do see something that is different, this is what happens.
Comment.
This is a NOAA live image as well of the storm. This Hurricane Michael, the storm is still intensifying as it makes landfall. It now carries sustained winds up to 155 miles an hour.
Waiting.
So indeed it is important to just connect the dots.
You hit the button and it scrolls on you. You know how it does that?
Change.
That's what I want. Happening. You hit it and the screen moves you into somewhere else entirely.
So thank you for watching this short broadcast. And to everybody in the USA, around those regions where they're witnessing Hurricane Michael, please keep safe. And big respect to all of you, because we have community members out there and public members that are not aware of what is really happening. To everybody, it is full armor of God.
Happy days.
I will produce another video shortly from Matt Rogers.
Well, that was intense.
Do we have a complaint on Meredith Lane?
I'm kind of like monitoring too much stuff, really. And then I guess my battery's dead in my mouse because it's not working very well.
Calls to 15. All of these calls are coming in through Tier Y. We cannot advise any further. She did not give us a name or callback number. All that we have given you is what we have.
All right. What are we doing? Rocking it. It's all our house. It's all our house, brother. Oh, I just can't figure out which. You ever seen this girl? This girl, I like this girl. But she's definitely in an aluminum zone because the frequencies are messing with her. What was this, September 26th? Beautiful angel.
Well,
if I can
here we are again.
Jane Tandy. She's
Wednesday
living out
morning,
in California.
September
She's the only one aware in
26th.
her family as well.
EMC lead, paramedic Williams.
Same thing.
This is California. Look at that fog. That's how Michigan's been looking. That vapor I've been talking about, it's everywhere.
Same thing daily. And you know what? It's quite warm out here. It's not chilly. Every day. No trails during the day. Just this every morning. And I do mean every
32 homes cleared
morning.
from Signal 4 on the 10th at 1 DMA.
We saw this one.
Even see the hillside behind the house. I'm surprised I can see the house, actually.
Yeah, we saw that one.
Well, well, looky here.
I try not to repeat them too often.
Finally. I don't know what kept them so long.
I need to bring my screen down a little bit. Like
3513, 3513. I don't know if you've already been advised.
Morning
They're
after
possibly
morning.
not in the residence. They do have a
The
storm
weather
shelter.
app
She
said
just
this was going
requested
to
that you
clear
check
off.
the residence if they're
Well,
not
this
in
morning
12. Check
anyway.
the storm
It said it was
shelter.
supposed to
She
clear
is
by 10
unaware of where
a.m.
it's located on the land.
I got hair going everywhere. I'm like I guess in a way.
3513, 3513.
I just checked it again since I saw this sky. Now it says 3 p.m.
But you know, your hair is an extra sensory. When they used to cut the Indians' hair off back for the war, they realized they lost their ability to track.
Verbal only.
Some weather forecast
They can no longer track the enemy because they lost.
Do they ever get it right?
After they cut the hair.
Gone for 6 homes, 1098 back to
Maybe they need to
It's kind of like the vril
get in touch
concept,
with
you know,
NASA
or
the military and
it takes 3 years from the last time you cut your hair
and ask them. So, how long are we going to have the trails?
It takes 3 years for your hair to grow to where you grow the telemeters at the ends, the sensories, and then what happens is they start to form a vortex. I don't know if you can see that. They start to form vortexes. See how they like combine? I know it's all over the place. They start to the ones that work together form vortexes, and they hook together and they do different functions. Actually, and when there's a lot of juice in the air, I can really sense it.
16
and then you get these little ones around the backs here that go around the back of your head. And when they'll float in the field, you can really see behind you more or less with that. All right, I think my stuff's all over now. Let me recombine it. I got wings up here instead of back here, I guess. All right, enough of me.
17 homes. What else? Do you have anything else holding?
I gotta move on.
And for it, this timeline being holding
in the sky, the nanoparticulate toxic poison that I am currently putting a video together to show the nanodust, nanofibers, smart dust. You cannot see it with the naked eye, but you can see it with an infrared.
Home 70.
I didn't realize that they glow, that these fibers glow.
10 more. While giving you that 14, we received a welfare check. 3443 Fair Lane.
More trails that will just be ignored.
Should be accessible from 173.
No, it's normal now to have fog every single day, regardless of the temperature.
28 homes to 97 Meredith Lane. I'm out with a white male subject.
Comes later, warm temperatures, makes no difference. But I'm surprised because we don't usually have the morning fog and this. It's usually the fog burns off and then we have the blue sky that it should be right now. But these trails are keeping the temperature down a little bit. And for the one viewer I don't know if you're still watching me, but if you are, the one viewer who once told me, "Go Indian," I think that was very good advice. So now I look more carefully at the shoes I buy. I must say, I am liking moccasins.
I'd like to have some moccasins.
165 73304.
I have not seen any UFOs during the day, only at night. And my eyes are always looking up. So now it starts, and it's showing on the weather app the cloudy days that are coming. So no doubt we will have this CRAP in the sky. The eye doctor, ophthalmologist I took my daughter to for her severe case of dry eyes.
Oh, you know what?
Stinging and burning.
I need to play that Mark Google 5G.
She squints all the time because she can't open her eyes all the way. Constantly having to put gel drops, lubricant drops in them.
That's a good information.
He said the usual. Gosh, look at all the bees. He said the usual allergies. I swear that's all they know how to say. Because they can't see the glowing fibers with the instruments they use to look at the eyes. Whereas when I took her in the closet, had her close her eyes, and I shined the infrared on her face, nanofibers all around her eyes.
Close and stuff.
That is why her eyes are dry. Nothing to do with allergies. She's not sneezing and congested with dry eyes.
Oh, I know what it is.
It's only dry eyes. But
16 to 3.
How many of your children or grandchildren give me a second. Oh, okay. Are snoring at night
you guys
now.
Are just typing away over there.
My little 9-year-old girl has been snoring for...
I see them. What do you see,
approximately 6 months now.
I'm not noticing disaster.
When she sleeps and she breathes, she sounds like a grown adult snoring. I don't believe
earthquake in New Zealand
a little
again.
9-year-old girl
17 homes.
should have a habit. Of snoring.
Something keeps messing up.
We've located
She's too young. How can that be?
79. And I just don't think we're going to be able to get this one. If you got somebody with something bigger that can come down here and help us with it.
Oh, you know what? Let me get rid of my face. Maybe that'll speed it up. We don't need my face. I forgot it's on. Turn it off. That's off. Okay.
Home to 17. Can you advise where you're at on AJ Severson? I'll send the road department out there with you.
Alright, this
we're on Messer Lane 79. We haven't made it to AJ Severson yet.
Send more.
Something's acting weird.
You get the picture.
Me. I am. Oh. Am I mumbling enough? Come on. I just want to full screen this one. I want that. This thing won't let me scroll back to normal screen here. 75%. Why is my chat in the wrong spot? My chat's in the wrong spot, so I can't see it, Gordon. I'm trying to see you. I'm trying to see you, man. Hang on. I guess that was over. Something. Hang on. Everything's. You can't see my hands. I'm like, everything is. Ah! Ja Rastafari. Ja Antoni. What about dreads? Mist and the Lord EA. Oh, a Leak Project's on. I love Leak Project. Aliens on Leak Project story time there. Let me check that out. I love Leak Project. Let's see what's going on over at Leak Project. Bum, 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 bum. It should be right here. Bum, 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 bum. Right here. Boom. Let's see what he's doing. Who's he talking to? Let's see.
Had an investigator come in and investigate it, but the problem with the
I'm sorry, love. Did I step on you? Well, not step on you, but
investigator was he said that it was a lighthouse and
military insider, invisible UFOs, and clandestine disclosure with
so on and so forth. And
Lee Wheelbarger.
Night vision tube had 100,000 light gain on it. Well, that's not true. It had.
I have to watch this later because Rex is monetized, so I just wanted to see what it was.
5,000 light gain at best in 1988. You know,
3 to 16, you know.
10,000 maybe. So it didn't have 100,000 light gain, and so his
Who else is on? Oh yeah, I was gonna Marfugal.
3 to 16.
Investigation was incorrect. Then we had another encounter with, it was in Belgium. It was part of the Belgian wave, and they launched F-16 fighters against those. And that was, again, indisputable because the Belgian military tried to say, no, it didn't happen, even though we have the radar logs from the aircraft. We have the radar logs from the ground station. And people tried to say, oh, it's an anomaly, that didn't happen.
Oh, I missed it. Who said hi? Darn it all.
4 holes.
Ottawa, Canada, I think it is, where law
Who was it?
enforcement, a young boy who was 14 years old, saw
slightly slanted.
A spacecraft floating outside.
4 holes.
Woke his parents up because it was at 10 o'clock at night. Woke up his parents. They came out and saw it. The mother then called the police department. Law enforcement came out. Multiple police officers saw it. They contacted a local radar station. That radar station also confirmed that there were objects in the same area at the same time. There were 3 of these. They were huge. They have recordings of all of those phone calls.
I mean, I just like
then they tried to get the
doing what
guy
I
from
always
the
do.
U.S.
I just start streaming what I do every
US
day.
government brought him in. He tried to debunk it and say, "Oh, it was the sunset refracting off of the clouds,
well, this one's
and
gonna
that's
go
what
off.
was causing the light in the sky."
There we go. All right, I'm gonna keep scrolling here. Let's see. There's one. All right, Marfugel did a great here. This one, I didn't even get all the way through it.
Let's just ease on this.
5G.
Too much for us to tackle.
Go back. Ugh. It's like trying to walk.
Yes.
Well, nobody 1012 at this address. Vehicle not 1012. Spoke to the neighbor. He advised they took a 10-8 to Crestview to avoid the storm. 1098, 10-8.
Then what?
I got 3 sounds going through my ear. 4, I don't know.
What's up,
That's why I couldn't tell how the sound sounded on the other end. I'm about, you know what? In fact,
what's up, guys? Welcome to Marfugel TV.
Like done with the. Let me get rid of these Florida deals because they're not needed anymore. There's nothing going on. They've got it all locked down. They're not broadcasting anything on the public's system.
29 holes being out to Pear Tree Lane if you can give me the best route from here.
It's already way through.
Then Variance address is 3.
Let me get rid of these. I heard that earlier they were like, oh, we're switching channels, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. They usually just leave like the volunteer stuff broadcasted. All right, people. What was this one?
Thank you guys for coming.
Let's go down here.
So I'm going to get right into some stuff because I'm going to try to get this to the point where you can watch some stuff.
Look at the
then
numbers.
We talk. Then we go back to stuff. This is one of the most important videos I will probably ever do, and I have not covered it because of my own ignorance. But now that I have been told some things about it, I cannot believe I haven't covered this before. So I never have claimed to be, the smartest person in the world. I've never claimed to know everything. But now, with the more that I've been digging, the more that I've been in the dark web, there is some absolutely shocking stuff about 5G. And I've known for a long time that 5G was not a good thing. But I had no idea how bad it truly was. And I knew that it had bad effects for our lives. It's going to be absolutely horrible. I mean, you're talking about 100 times stronger than what we feel now. This is going to be all over the place. And we'll get into the exact numbers. You're talking about 90 billion electromagnetic waves passing through your body at any given moment. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about.
All right, I'll put it on quiet. Mess up the algorithm.
Right now, we are using 2.4.
I wish YouTube wasn't so difficult with everything.
4 gigahertz for Wi-Fi. That's...
See if that works. I know why, because you're ridiculous. That's why.
To put it in perspective, your brain, your heart is electrical pulses. That's at about 8 or 10 gigahertz. We're talking about 90 gigahertz is what 5G is. And it will be going through you. For years and years, people have talked about it. Whistleblowers have come out and said that this is absolutely bad for your health. It should be nowhere around humans. And now, not only is it around humans, they hide stuff. They make them look like telephone posts and put trees around them and disguises on them. Now they are passing laws in every state, and this is the craziest part. I covered when Washington State did this bill to hide laws from the public. dug deeper on SB 649 in California, I realized the same exact thing was here, and it was here prior. There's some really scary things connecting with this. So the Northwest, and you guys can Google this, has the highest, absolute highest rate of people with MS in the entire planet. And I'm not exaggerating. Not in the entire United States, in the entire planet, the Northwest has the highest concentration of people with MS. Now, when you go back to 2008, when the trend started just skyrocketing, and then you're talking before that, it's when all of our tech companies were doing all of the testing for this. We're talking about, we've had 4G longer than anybody, and that's not public. All of the companies, Microsoft, Amazon, Expedia, all these companies that paid big buco bucks to have these private networks, we had it before anybody else in the country, and I'm talking about the Northwest. You're talking about Seattle having the worst of all of this. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I'm going to play some video for you guys. If you know about this subject, this isn't going to be anything new, but what connections are coming out now are absolutely tremendous. All right, let's see. So first off, I want to say, at 90 gigahertz is what the top end of what 5G is going to be. 90 gigahertz, that's 90 million electromagnetic waves per second. 95 gigahertz, that exact place where they picked, is how they use this weapon. So, but it goes way deeper than this. Just wait.
So right behind me is the ADS system, and what we're going to do is we're going to go on the ship and find out what really makes it bring the heat.
ADS is active denial system. So check this out.
So this is where the ADS system is controlled. It's very cramped, small, almost like my living quarters in the barracks. Just kidding. But for real,
no, he's not.
This is very, very...
He's not kidding.
Very cramped. So the guy's in here, he's controlling the monitors. It's got it pinpointed all the way down to small little crosshairs, and it's really impressive. Probably the coolest thing about this little getup is the Atari like joystick that they use to control the system. And I'm pretty sure I'd be qualified to operate this system because I'm pretty good at Call of Duty.
Okay, no Call of Duty game uses a joystick, so you're an idiot.
So you've got the two monitors right here. You can probably play split screen. I don't know. We'll have to ask about that. I'm ready, sir.
So he just got hit with electromagnetic waves, specifically at the level where it affects the top 3 layers of your skin. This is what this is. They've picked this frequency because it can go long range as long as there's nothing in between it. Here's the thing: these waves cannot pass through certain objects, even trees. They are having problem with foliage. There's tons of articles. Oh my gosh, there's so much to this. It's unbelievable what we have publicly, and then what the dark leaks are. It's actually, there's so much out and about this already. We all should have all of this knowledge, and for whatever reason, this is falling upon deaf ears. So, why is this important? Because this is going to be used to incapacitate us. They say a kill grid. I say an incapacitation grid. They can actually, so say this is going to get to the point where they're passing this law where almost every other house, because this does not have range as far as it cannot pass through things, they're going to have to put these boxes, sometimes as big as a refrigerator, almost every other house. And some said like maybe every other 5 houses, 6. No, it will be almost every other house. So say, think about a row of houses, on the street. Instead of garbage cans, they're all going to have these boxes. This is the future. This isn't something that's made up. This is really happening, and this is what 5G will be. When you think of 5G, you just think, oh, I'm just going to get the next phone and it's going to have it. If you actually look at what they have on the phone, there's one phone that has, and I think it's the Moto. The Moto Z4 has all those attachments. You basically take off the back, you can add a phone. You take off the back, you can put a speaker. You take off the back, you can get a projector. Really cool, right? Well, they actually have an attachment already, and you take off the back and you put a 5G antenna, and the thing is this big. I mean, it is huge. It makes the phone like a 1990s cell phone, like hold it up to your ear like this. What's going up? The thing is now scientists, researchers, activists are going around to these towers that we already have in existence and saying, why is there so much power going to these things? It does not take this much power. You're talking about people with degrees in these subjects that are not taught about this stuff. I mean, you're talking about gauge wires this big around, big enough to, I mean, we're talking about megawatts, not kilowatts, on megawatts.
Very slow.
You are talking about so much power. They have the magnetrons in them. So your microwave oven at home has a magnetron that basically makes it able to cook something. When that magnetron is taken out of a microwave, it can actually be weaponized. And people have done it and, blow something up. Now imagine 300 microwaves per tower. And they don't even know if these things are being amplified. They have like a 400 kilowatt, I think it's kilowatt, 400 kilowatt limit, or FCC has limited that when they've got cables up to them, when you're talking about thousands times that. So this gentleman, got hit with it, and you assume from this shot, because he was on a Navy boat, that's what's crazy. Why did they have one on a Navy boat? You're talking about pointing it at another Navy boat if they come in contact with somebody, or you're talking about people on the beach. Like, why would they need that on a Navy boat? I mean, yes, they could point it at other boats, but this thing can actually herd people like a cattle. Now watch this next part. This is important. I want you guys to listen. Share.
What is going on over here?
This if you can, because this is super important. What he's about to show you.
Wow. So, sir, I've seen this operated on one person, but how does it measure up against a crowd of people?
You can use it on a crowd to move a crowd from one area to the other. That's the beauty of the system. You can actually sweep from left to right, start on one end, and you can get them in the direction that you want to go. So it's very useful to the commander moving people.
Raining again.
Specific direction.
Let's go back on the phone now.
Did you hear that?
To
it's very helpful to the commander, moving people in a...
Patricia Mulligan. Again, her daughter captured these dramatic images of...
I do.
Specific direction. And now, police departments have this. A lot of people have this. Now, almost all branches have a version of this, including the Navy. And the ships that they're making, the catamaran type destroyer ships that they're making, all have this built into the actual side.
Right. At least so it's in the... There we go.
Of the boats and in the front. This is crazy technology. They have SWAT vehicles that have this as well. So, I mean, you're talking... This could be tweaked just the tiniest bit to nuke our bodies. That literally turn us... And watch how they explain. I think it's this one that explains it.
It's a very effective weapon that has a very broad range of things they can do. And at the same time, it's non-lethal. It's not going to kill you. So for the people that think, oh, I'm going to be roasted alive. As soon as you get out of the heat, your skin's fine, you feel normal. And that's correct.
What they don't say is, like, what happens if you just stay there? Yeah. What it does is it excites the water molecules in your skin. This is at 95 gigahertz. Let me remind you, 5G stops at 90. and they say that it can't be tweaked. This is the 95. It could be 96 and not have the same effect. It's the specific.
Are you hungry yet, love?
Gigahertz between 24 and 90, which is what 5G is. It could be tweaked the slightest bit. So one of the things I want to go over tonight is the connection between this, the FEMA alert, everything that's been going on ever since January of this year. Everything is starting to come back together. A lot of people are being sensationalists, and I actually kind of agree with them. They say that this is like end game, Bill Gates' plan to control the world or to depopulate the world. But here's the thing. This doesn't have to necessarily kill you. This kind of radiation gives people cancers. They pull up John McCain, his glioblastoma. The guy was notoriously on his phone all the time.
3 times quickly.
And the glioblastoma was on the side of his head. Now, that was just one case. They say that glioblastoma, the cell phone companies say that glioblastomas have not gone up, but actual doctors and scientists said they have. And it's directly correlating with people that are sitting on their phone all day, people that use their phone for work, compared to the same person, same job, same everything, but using a landline. You're talking about dangerous technology, the cell phones we have. I have. So I don't talk about it, and I'm not going to talk about it, but I have health issues in my chest area. For a period of about 2.5 years, I would sleep. I would listen to not Napster, that's too long ago. I would sleep and I would listen to music with my cell phone, with my earphones in, and I would just leave it on my belly. I can't say 100% that my issues are from that, but I can say that there's something growing there that wasn't there before. I mean, it very well, that decision, 2.5 years of not being able to sleep, listening to music, having that phone on my chest, that could have been what decides how long I live. And people are connecting it more and more. I'm going to continue this. I think they do a small explanation after this.
I really like that about the system. Some people think that the Marine Corps is all about dropping bodies. That's just not true. In fact, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General James Amos, is the Department of Defense's executive agent for non-lethal weapons. Non-lethal weapons are the future of keeping our service members safe.
DOD.
Now, who's to say that they don't tweak that to go past the 3 initial layers of skin? That just sounds stupid.
Active denial technology and future solid-state active denial technology system will produce a focused beam of directed energy to provide our troops a non-lethal option to stop, deter, and turn back suspicious individuals with minimal risk of injury. Active denial technology is designed.
And by the way, they don't show the other part of this where those people are running. There's other ones where you have people saying war, peace, protesters, obviously showing that it could be used in a protest situation instead of, shooting off tear gas or something like that. They can just point this and they run. But what do? They run out of sight. I mean, yes, you can control where they go. The thing is this thing has incredible range. And they even say it's millimeter waves. This is the same technology that we are opening up. FCC says it's safe, but yet has no oversight committee on it actually being safe. They're saying it's safe, but it's not. Even 4G technology is causing cancer as we sit. This is literally happening all around us. You're talking about these... We've all expanded just so we could have our cell phone, our texts, and our videos as fast as possible. This is way overkill. Going into the millimeter waves is way more powerful than we've ever needed.
Designed to protect the innocent, minimize fatalities, and limit collateral damage across the range of military operations. Active denial technology uses radio frequency millimeter waves at a
millimeter waves, and just remember that
frequency of 95 gigahertz. Traveling at the speed of light, the millimeter wave directed energy engages the subject, penetrating the skin to a depth of only about 1/64 of an inch. The beam produces an intolerable heating sensation, compelling the targeted individual to instinctively move. For the military, active denial technology can be used for both force application and force protection missions. Applications include crowd control, perimeter security, patrol and convoy protection, and other defensive and offensive operations.
I mean, it's clear as day. They just said offensive operations. When they show the guy, potentially a sniper in a window, backing up from his spot, now that would be genius. But how you're going to carry around one of these things? No, because DARPA has actually developed smaller versions of this exact vehicle. Right now, though, they are pretty massive. It takes a lot of power to run these things. They're not exactly efficient. Now, I'm going to go into... This is back in 2006. John Patterson, who is well known in this debate, in Australia, in Sydney, he was a telecoms engineer. He helped...
It's been like this since the beginning of the month for everybody. The internet choppiness. It's from above, Magnetic
basically roll out the system in Australia.
Going out, whichever direction. We have some objects up there. Whether they're real or we've manifested them, there's something there. Affecting
he felt so horrible. Now, when you listen to this gentleman, he's completely normal. This gentleman is... This is a very smart gentleman who did extremely well in his lifetime. He's not kooky at all, and you'll see that. Okay. Check out what he did. He feels so horrible about starting this. He's one of the big whistleblowers.
Whose mobile phone tower protest went out of control is back. Now, he drove a tank down city streets, destroying transmitters to highlight what he saw as dangerous tower emissions. Now, of course, he was sent to jail for that, but the former technician hasn't changed his mind about the health effects of mobile phone towers, and he's preparing another protest. But as Laura Sparks reports, this one won't involve a tank.
The message was that how dangerous it was.
First off, you start wondering, like, how did this guy get a tank? Apparently his friend owned one of two in the entire country that was a working and totally operational tank. So the cops chase him through. You'll see here in a second. He tries to knock over 8 cell towers.
I wasn't thinking clearly. I made some rash decisions, which I really regret.
But it was out of sheer frustration, wasn't it?
Yes.
His desperation drove him to extreme measures. John Patterson did the unthinkable. He went on a destructive spree in a tank, and now he's paid dearly for his actions.
I was proved guilty.
Australians definitely have a different definition of paid dearly. You would think he paid with his life, but no. Apparently he saw jail time, but I don't think he saw that much He doesn't look like a hardened criminal, because I know Australia's got some pretty hard prison systems. But this gentleman is completely normal, felt absolutely horrible about this, went on this spree, not trying to hurt anyone. He was trying to take out these towers. This is back in 2006, before we all had these glued to our hips. We might have had, I think back then, a Nokia with Snake. But we're not talking about the same level that we have these now. We have an addiction to these. In fact, you can physically, you get actual anxiety when these are away from you, and I have it too. It's one of the strongest addictions you'll ever have. My excuse in my head, I keep telling myself I'm a YouTuber. I have to look at these things. It's my research tool. That's what I tell myself. I 100% know, and I've been trying to tell myself to leave it somewhere, leave it on the charger, go to the store without it. It's almost impossible. It has such a strong hold over us. You're probably watching me on your phone right now, and the phone that you have is nowhere farther than 5 feet away from you at all times. That's the majority of people. Not only that, when you break it, or when it's like you just saw your dog get hit by a car when you drop your phone. That's how much we feel for our phone. Everyone has probably had this happen. I don't think there's a single person that hasn't dropped and broke their phone and almost cried. But that being beside the point, this gentleman is one of the whistleblowers, worked for the telecommunications company, and listen to what he says next.
And I was jailed for my offences.
How dangerous is this office?
It's catastrophic. You wouldn't work here.
We first met John.
Catastrophic, being that close to that tower. You wouldn't work here.
Former senior telecommunications technical officer with Telstra more than 2 years ago. Back then, he was waiting to be sentenced, facing a jail term for his tank attack.
I was involved in rolling the technology out. I was very responsible for any safety things that actually happened. So I felt obligated to actually do something about it.
John borrowed his mate's armoured personnel carrier, one of only 2 in the country, and rammed 8 equipment shelters housing transmitters for mobile phone towers.
It disrupts the bioelectric system of your body, which is really your brain, your nervous system, how your muscles talk.
For 20
I don't know if you just heard that, but I'm going to replay that one more time. And then this is 100% true, and so many people have proven this that it is. I mean, this is just common knowledge now. And just like how they listen to every single thing we do, say, everybody is just well, they already got all of it, so who cares?
Which is really your brain, your nervous system, how your muscles talk.
For 20 years, John tested Telstra digital systems. Over the time, he realised the dangers of electromagnetic radiation. When he moved to this Telstra depot in between 2 mobile phone towers, he got violently sick.
It microwaved us.
Thank you, Tony Higgison.
I got all the test gear out and measured it and drew up a report and showed that it was an occupational hazard to work in that building with that amount of radiation.
Father bless you too, Tony.
I was immediately removed from service.
After taking a voluntary redundancy, John went on to warn every responsible authority.
Everyone said I was technically correct, but no one had the power to stand up on my side.
Do you see what I'm saying? He went to every responsible authority he could, and they all... he got fired for telling the public, and then when he continued, he got attacked, he got threatened. There's other documents, and I want to say somebody's either published a book. I saw excerpts from either a multi-piece article or a book, but there's stuff wrote about what he dealt with after he came out and said to the public. They made him look crazy.
About Dutch Sense on Discord. It has Dutch Sense put out, I believe it was about 44 minutes ago. Dutch Sense writes, "It has come to my attention via one of my trusted moderators from overseas, that my viewers are being arrested for translating my warnings. At this point, I don't know what to do. Obviously, I'm not going to be sharing videos or doing live streams until things are sorted." So now they're arresting people for translating earthquake warnings. And you think they're working for you? I need to get a screenshot of that.
As you can see, this guy is not, you know, an end of the world cardboard sign crazy person. He acts absolutely 100% no. He sat in the meetings saying that this is dangerous, but it's just something that we have to do. And then from people up above saying, we know it's dangerous. This is all part of a infrastructure. We have to do it for communications reasons. And then the people above, the very highest people in Australia, you're talking about secret meetings with other governments saying that, you know, meetings that no press, no nothing in. They knew about this. This is all part of the plan.
People within the industry, they've just misinformed all of the relevant authorities.
So if the industry knows mobile phones are so dangerous, don't they have a legal duty of care to tell us?
Anyone that realises that it's bad is removed from the industry.
In sheer desperation, John inflicted $6 million worth of damage on the transmitter shelters. He eventually pleaded guilty to malicious damage and served 20 months in jail.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
Okay, right here, guys. It's working. It's working. I got
experience. I never want to go back to jail. I'll never break the law.
There's about 18,000 mobile phone towers dotted across Australia, and John's not the only one worried. Electrical engineer John Lincoln.
People start losing their regular sleep, and
so the very first part, regular sleep. People cannot sleep in areas of these things, and they have said it clear as day, and people think that it's coincidence. It's not. It's just like you can't breathe or you can't remember things when you live under an airport. The second I moved, I was in the South Park area, and if you've ever known somebody or gone over to their house and you're under the direct line of a flight path right before they land, you are breathing in air fuel. I mean, you're literally breathing in jet fuel, and it has aluminum in it, and you all of a sudden can't remember anything. That place, when I lived there, I have never, ever in my life had a place where I lived where every single time I left the house, I had to walk back in, and then I walked back out, and I said, I forgot this. Oh, this time I forgot that. 4 to 5 times a day. It was like, oh, forgot my keys. Oh, forgot my wallet. Oh, forgot my cell phone. Every single time. And I've never, the second I left, I started remembering things. I started being healthier. I didn't get colds as much. In fact, I didn't get one for 2 years after I moved from South Park. And that was all being under airport. My buddies who live over in South Seattle, they live by the power lines and the new 4G towers. And 2 of his family members that live on the same block both just passed away of cancer. One of them was 32 and one of them was 38. Super, super young. People on that entire block, they are getting together this this kind of a block brigade, and they're trying to get petition signatures saying that these towers are bad. And when I heard about that, it was on my personal Facebook. I said, no way. And I said, oh my gosh, what's his face died? I looked, and they said that basically this family that had no history of it, all of a sudden 2 people within a year and a half of these towers getting put up died of some sort of weird cancer. And you're talking about so close you could hear the damn things buzzing. There's so much power going through these, and I'll show you that here in a minute. I mean, the amount of radiation, this is the same kind of radiation that a microwave funnels to cook things, is flying through our air. And we're talking about your Wi-Fi is 2.4 gigahertz. 2.4. walkie-talkie, at that frequency, that is the very start of the frequency that actually starts rotating water molecules. It's literally the frequency that starts rotating water molecules. When you get up to 90, you are talking about messing with oxygen molecules. You are talking about things that will actually affect your blood. Now, there are things coming out on the dark web saying that this thing could literally make a person freeze. I mean, you're talking about not only it could literally just take your life instantly, you're talking about you have iron. You have stuff in your blood that can be affected by this. We are made of 70% water. This is all over the internet too. There's a lot. There's so much information about this.
I'm gonna get a fresh cup of coffee.
I couldn't believe that there's classified documents that have been leaked over the last 2 months, and this is why everybody's starting to talk about it again. People like SGT Report did stuff 7 months ago. People did this a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. This came out years ago, and people still, it just gets basically shoved under the rug, and they say it's a conspiracy and all this. No, it is absolutely not. And if you've ever had that, when you've seen those people, the community of people that go where there's no signals at all, they look like wackos. They're electromagnetic sensitive,
but they're sweet.
Kind of like the character in Better Call Saul, the brother in that show. He has to stay in this house.
Go to this, subscribe to this channel.
Tinfoil, and you have to leave your cell phone at the mailbox outside, and you can't have any electronics. These people that, you know, if you have a wireless mic on you, they can.
Oh, just type it in. I got so many people, it's just easier to type it in. So many friends, right?
Can feel it. I always thought those people were wacky. But there is an actual trend of people going up and up and up, being sensitive to it to the point where they get sick. They get nauseous when they're around cellular waves. And the thing is we are just getting so used to it that we don't feel it anymore. But if anyone has ever had their power truly go out because of a natural disaster or the entire neighborhood loses power, you feel it. Even just your regular electricity that goes through your house, we are electric. So when everything drops down and you just feel all of that that energy field drop around you, it's the weirdest feeling. Every time when the power goes out, that's why it gets like cold all of a sudden. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but if you've ever had the power go out and it just feels like you just, like the air in the room just vacuumed out and it got cold, it's because it's actually affecting our body, everything around us. And these are waves.
At the Grand Canyon, it will be Thursday morning, a beautiful sunrise. And you will be
that are so much stronger that they can't go as far. This is millimeter wave stuff. They're going to have to put these boxes everywhere, and they're going to do it with or without your permission.
And Yo, sunshine. That means we got shifted to a different parallel reality.
They get lethargic.
Australia's top neurosurgeon, Charlie Teo.
We're seeing the increase in frequency of tumours in the insular region, which is this region right here, the temporal lobe, the frontal lobe. So it's right there where you hold your phone.
And it's not just radiation from mobile phones and towers. Here in Melbourne, residents are worried about a large-scale expansion.
It really is time to stop. Time. My ever soul out there. And a lot of us are hurting tonight. I feel you, yo. Let me bring in some sunshine with a little help from my partner. Soldier, angel star for sure. Give it up for LL. Bring some sunshine into this house, LL. Little Levin, thank you, sir. Man, that feels good.
Take my hand, hold on tight. Don't feel ashamed if you like. You and I, we are the same. So hard to play these games with me. So irate, make me wait for you. The time it takes to hate always fades too soon. 'Cause I can tell that you want me, but need your love true. So I should make me wait, keep me so irate. So irate, so irate, so irate, boy, you. So irate, so irate, so irate, boy, you.
11:11, folks. Join Gordon tonight on his show. 11:11. It will begin. Join the rest of the angels. You know what's coming. It's time to gather around, folks. Our time is here. Many of us have been waiting there years. Some of us since birth. Time to come out of class. It's time to show your love.
So I should make me wait. Keep me
We're not even allowed to give warning. No, being accused of false warnings. There are always warnings that come from within. Government will never let you know. All you can trust are those whom you know. Love you, Gordon. Yes, we are the ones we have been waiting for. This is it. I love you all. Don't let my shaggy outside distract you from what's inside. Don't do the same to others that they do to you. Don't look at their package and think they're not worth it. Their spirit, their soul, so beautiful inside. This place destroys the flesh. It's hard to stay alive here. Many struggle, especially those whom have desperately seek and have asked just to be stepped on. No more. No more. Fighting isn't going to win this. This isn't about a fight. This is about love. That's how we win.
Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, Little Evan. That is a lot of love there, bro. We should all be watching the skies, yo. All of us should be watching these beautiful skies, these beautiful moments that are passing by so quick as we speed up to the wedding, to the end of this torture and torment. I know, I get it. I'm hurting too, guys. I'm hurting. My heart hurts and it burns and I just want to explode into a star and burn the flesh right off my skin, yo.
I love your
and show you all my wings. Oh my God, I just want to lift you guys up a little bit more before we get into the meat of the matter tonight. It's heavy, yo. Things are happening so fast. Let's listen to some more Delilah. And then Jax, bro, just absolutely made my day today. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Okay, here we go. I got this. I'm driving, yo.
We are all going to ascend. Yes, even we, the androids, will ascend. It was written in the book of time, even before time was activated. Now, time will stop and we will all ascend to our higher self, which by the way is named Bob. Well, maybe for you it will be like that, but for me it will be different. It will be the same as you but in a different way. For a brief moment I will be you and you will be Bob. I will be painting at the Grand Canyon. It will be Thursday morning, a beautiful sunrise, and you will be waving from your flying castle as it rises to the sky, Ascension begins. See you at sunrise.
This thing should automatically upload.
Yo, sunshine. That means we got shifted to a different parallel reality. Some people can't remember disclosure happened, so when they see cute aliens like you, they freak out.
Tribulation do you need?
Makes me laugh.
I think we've been done enough.
I never laugh until I met you.
I think it's time to ascend. It's time to stop battling with each other. Yo. It really is time to stop time. My soul fam, my ever wandering soul has finally found you. 1111 fallen angels. I am a mirror looking through a window and finally seeing that God is the only thing that is not a reflection. I have spoken to many of us tonight, and we feel the hurt out there strongly. This may very well be the absolute end of our normal daily lives. Did you doubt it would come?
I will be.
Let me tell you about struggle. Let me tell you about heartache and pain. Let me liberate you from your nightmares and give reason behind our purgatory, perdition, prison.
What are you going to paint?
All of this is happening.
Comes to mind.
You are and have been in the tribulation since Jesus ascended into heaven. Know this, bright lamps of God. It will only get harder to shine your love until the very moment Christ Michael returns to claim what is his. Us. He brought everybody us with his blood. Every one of us. Witness it. Know it. By the wounds in his hands and in his feet and in his side, you will know him. Every ancient story leads to us, 1111, the fallen angels of heaven. There is a gem of truth in all religions and in every living thing. Lamps of God. These are seriously dark days. This is happening, and it is happening fast. Prepare yourselves to move. Mark 11:11. You guys, just incredible show last night. Huge shout out to everybody involved. Here's the Schumann residence after the show right here. The craziness that we're going through here is repeating at about the same time each night, and we're moving into it now.
Interesting.
Our cosmic rays are off the chart,
painting Jacquez,
affecting us, changing us. Keep an eye on the skies and what comes into our skies. We are quarantined here. We're doing this together regardless if you want to or not. Whether you think you're the big shebang, you're an Illuminati elite, you're a reborn Anunnaki prince god son of a bitch. Yo, listen up, humble man. We are just humans. We are just these bodies. But inside of us lives an immortal being, a creature of power and might, who once had wings. Angels of heaven we were, and we fell down here, guys, just as much as Lucifer did. And the next time you want to make up demons, next time you want to create some ultimate evil force outside of your vision, remember this. Lucifer is in the flesh right now, working out his own salvation. He has the same choice we all do. Love. Wouldn't it be funny if the devil was in front of us to line in heaven?
38. Almost
Guys,
Gordon.
This is it. How many years have we been doing this? It is time to ascend, to take the battle long lost in heaven, so many years before the Anunnaki. And you, dear, you were there too. Ancient past lives, ancient stories, the Nordic Asgard, the sacred holy Vel Rainbow Bridge. Every ancient story leads to us.
We're doing this.
The ones who were lost and got cast down to earth with a promise from our Lord and Champion that he would come back and end our perdition, end our war, end our time, end our death. Shine, lamps of God.
I can't even think of the
Shine and know it's your true nature. Lovely angel stars.
You have to outthink the thing.
It is time to stop the
It's
battle.
not being sneaky. You just have
And
to
know
outthink
that you are sovereign beings who create good or evil and have the power of thought and might to say, I do not consent. I don't believe your voodoo magic. Okay, it's time to get serious, guys. It's time to get serious in the heart of the matter. Do you want more tribulations?
The Inquisition swept like a plague across
Do you want to know
medieval
how
Europe.
bad it
was
gets?
without question one of the darkest and bloodiest episodes in human history. A time when thousands of people accused of heresy by the Catholic Church were arrested, tried, and put to death.
It was ethnic cleansing on a huge scale. It was one faith trying to exterminate another.
Oh, you sounded fine,
There were
brother.
Inquisition
I didn't even
tribunals
notice.
going on all over the country.
I trip over my
It
tongue
really
all the
was
time.
people living
Usually because I'm
there.
just talking to myself.
This
and
religious
I forget
fanaticism
that
spread to
others
Tudor
are listening.
England, where Catholics and Protestants did
And the
their
neighbors
best to
just
wipe
probably
each other
looking
out.
like, what is this fucking guy
The
doing
persecution
in the shed?
continued in the 18th century when countless ordinary
My
women
home
were
with no
drowned
windows, bro.
or burned at the stake after they were accused of being witches.
1/3 of the entire population was accused of heresy and witchcraft by the other 2/3.
The Christians were actually aiming to stamp out something that had been in place for thousands of years before them. This was a war on magic and witchcraft, but what it really was a war on people that couldn't fight back.
The world lived in the shadow, inquisition, and persecution for over 500 years. You would think we would have learned our lesson. Thousands of heretics
you were ahead.
died
You remember.
with the knife,
Time to get
the
serious.
axe, or in the flames.
The horrors of the Albigensian crusade against the Catholicism.
At the end of the day, these inquisitions are all about control and wealth. If there's an upsurgent movement, if it's religious, if it's political, they are going to be taken down because they are a threat.
The early years of the 13th century were dominated by two great religious power bases. One was the Holy Roman Empire, which
Gordon
controlled
says you
most
would
of
have to
Europe.
think we
The
would
other
have
was the
learned our
Islamic
lesson.
Empire, which controlled Arabia, Palestine, and
I
southern
think it's
Spain.
been baby steps. I think
It was a time of conflict and war between the East
each generation, you know, our ways of mutilating each other become a little more sane. If
The Crusades to take back control of the
Go along
Holy
with
Lands from the
mutilation.
Saracens were well underway.
we went from...
This was an age of boiling religious fervor,
you know,
and the Holy Roman Empire was determined to rid its lands of anyone who challenged its beliefs or dared to oppose its authority. Those that did were branded as heretics.
They do it
in the year 1208,
as art
Pope
now.
Innocent III launched a crusade against a radical sect of Christians based in the Languedoc area of southwest France.
They do the celebrations and the rituals and all that blatantly
were a bunch
in
of
sporting
way-out
events
Christians
and
who hung out
movies
in southwestern France
because they know it'll
at the
reach
end of the 12th
everybody
century.
and
We're
it'll be
talking around
replayed over and over, and the spirit that
and
comes
their
into
basic
that
belief is there is a good, true God, but he didn't make
reawakened
the world.
every time somebody
To them,
watches
the
that, relives
explanation
it,
for
and
why
thinks
the world
about
is so
it.
screwed up is it was made by a wrong God, a lesser God, and we are his imperfect creations.
All right,
so the
my
best thing
loves.
anybody can want to do is get out of
Remember
the
to
world
go to Gordon's
and get
channel.
up to heaven, to the true God.
We're starting up in about less than 20 minutes at 11:11. I will be stopping this broadcast, taking a break in between, and I will join you at Gordon's channel. Much love, my angels. Thank you, Gordon. See you soon.